Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
Greetings, welcome, salutations, all that jazz to Screaming into the Void number 86. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and joining me today are my co-hosts, green-haired anti-liberal.
Hello. Glad to be here,
And
as usual.
good. Glad to have you. And Devil made me do it.
Howdy.
Who did a Gimli-esque face reveal last night. That was pretty fun.
And got memed immediately as such.
That's an armpit, Merkin.
Yep. I am armpit hair now.
So, before we get into the show proper, I do have a thing that I need to read out. It was sent to me by a friend who went through something recently, and he would rather not see. They would rather not see anybody else go through this. So I'm going to read this out. So we're going to start off with this. So, I, your name, in this case, Samuel, have verified to the best of my ability that the following story is true and complete, the best of the originator's ability. He wishes to remain anonymous, as will be explained in the story. He has asked anyone willing to forward this along do so, but only with original version have spoken to the subject directly, and I have. He stated he's only doing this to prevent others from making his nearly deadly mistake. And before we go any further, I also have to say this because YouTube's kind of a bitch about these things. We're not medical experts. I specifically am not a medical expert. This is not medical advice. This is somebody telling their story about what happened to them. So, I screwed up and almost got myself killed. I do not want nor deserve a pity party. I am more at fault for this than everyone else combined. I want to prevent this from happening to others. On day 0, I started 2 new medications. Both are drugs I've used before, so when I was asked if I had an allergy, I said no. In retrospect, I suspect I had a reaction, but it was so minor I didn't notice. A couple of days later, I had a pair of mosquito bites. That's nothing new, though odd for the time of year. After a few days, I noticed a rash forming. I went back to the doctor's office. The doctor and I both felt it was minor, whereas what was being treated was major, and that the rash could be controlled by a cream. That was prescribed, and I started using it right away. The itch went away, and I thought all was well until a few days later when I noticed the spread of the rash was widening a lot. I decided to go back to the doctor in the morning, but that night I passed out. Sorry, I misread a letter there. The doctor ordered me to go to the ER. The ER admitted me to the hospital. I spent the next 4 days in the hospital on antibiotics, steroid, and saline drips. It took 3 days for the renal collapse to arrest and recover. My kidneys were failing. I was, in the opinion of the doctor in charge of my case, probably 2 days away from full kidney failure and maybe death. It will take me 3 weeks to recover from this. My first mistake was to dismiss this as merely a rash. I had warning signs, but I could not see them for what they were. The first was the mosquito bites. They weren't mosquito bites at all. It was the mere rash that was my capillaries collapsing with an itch. My second error, when I saw I was developing a rash, was to dismiss it as not that big a deal. I should have immediately stopped and returned to the prescriber and gotten tested for a reaction. The reaction may have been the both drugs together or just the one. Since I have used them both in the past, I thought nothing of it, but the second one was a much higher dosage than I'd ever taken before. I believe it also may have affected my judgment by this point because I reread the label and misread take 1 tablet twice a day as take 1 tablet a day. So I thought I was overdosing on the drug. I wasn't per the instructions, but in reality, I probably was. I wish to emphasize that the doctor who prescribed the drug to begin with and the doctor who prescribed the cream were making their opinions based on what I was showing them and telling them. Their errors in judgment were based on my errors in reporting. If you see an adverse reaction forming, check yourself both physically and mentally. You may only be seeing the tip of the iceberg. In this case, the reaction was masking a major infection. In my unique case, the minor infection we were treating was displaced from where it had been sitting and spread throughout my body, causing it to bloom, while the anaphylaxis caused my immune system to be on full-blown overload and unable to respond to anything. This plus the allergic reaction from one of the drugs nearly killed me. Learn from my mistake. And that's the end of the story. So yeah, don't take anything for granted, guys. So sorry to start out on a bummer, but I think it's probably an important message.
Better to start out on it than end.
Yeah, pay attention to your bodies. You guys know I'm not a fan of medical professionals, so I can't necessarily endorse paying attention to those assholes. But in this case, it seems like they weren't at fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, just pay attention to yourselves and what's going on. So before we get too much further, I'm going to say hello to the chat. Slavak and Carrie with us. Haven't seen him in a little while. Good to see you, buddy.
Hello.
And waiting patiently. Kenzo's in chat. Hey, man. Yeah, the armpit hair thing. Go watch Beelzebub from last night. It's kind of hard to explain if you weren't there. I've got Bernabe Sanchez with us tonight. By screaming to the void, will I be heard if it's in a vacuum? Probably not. At least not by anything you want to hear you. Zillage, good to see you, dude. Got Released McCracken with us.
Hello.
Always awesome. And Wookie Be Bad.
Hey, Wookie.
So, Doctor Who was not a medical professional. That's true. So, yeah.
Everyone needs an armpit dwarf. Kenzo.
Well, we've got ours here.
Yeah.
So, speaking of armpit dwarves, how are you guys doing?
Good. I guess. Live kicking. Happy Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I was actually able to sleep, so I'm actually really having a good day.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Carrie, yeah. I want Cal to beat me up someday. It's his intrati thing. None of y'all would understand. Yeah, no, you're right. I don't get it. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to, but
Yeah, she charges for it, but
yeah, she'll want a ring.
Devil knows.
yeah.
Right. So I did snag some fun stuff to talk about today. Some of it's kind of dire as usual. Some of it's just fucking out there. Let me bring this up real quick. I saw this on. I hadn't heard about it before, and I haven't looked too deeply into this, so I'm sure there's a lot more information about this. But
You broke up a little in the beginning.
have
of what
you
were
guys
saying.
heard about? Oh, did I?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have not, done a ton of research on this, but it's, apparently a thing. You guys heard about people smoking scorpions to get high?
Nope.
No.
Nope, I haven't. Nope. I'm just gonna
the-
get a little further away from the screen for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just gonna be over here for a while.
Yeah. Apparently, this is a big deal in South Asia, like, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, that kind of thing. It says here, this is from creepy.org. Smoking scorpions to get high is a growing problem in South Asia. The high is said to be so powerful that it outstrips heroin and can last from 10 hours to 3 days. It also says the person who spends the first 6 hours in pain while their body adjusts to the toxins, which might kill them.
Jesus.
What? What?
It seems like
Why?
it seems like it's not worth it.
No. Stop it. Don't do that. Oh my god.
2 questions. Why? Second question. Where do I find it?
Stupid.
We have. I don't think they have the same scorpions in South Asia that we have here, but we do have scorpions in the United States. They're actually really prevalent in the southwest portion of the country. I mean, you can find them in other places, but that's where
Well,
they're.
I just want to
most
make sure I'm
concentrated.
smoking the right ones.
Right.
You don't
Apparently,
wanna
the
get a bad
deadlier the
Premium
better.
scorpion.
So, there's. Oh, hey, we've got a little bit of video here. We can watch that too.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yes, it's a good thing Joker Voice isn't here. He hates these things. You guys hear that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gal's covered her eyes.
The video's frozen now.
Yeah, it's not going. Not that I'm complaining.
Oh, that's pretty loud.
So it's
The
not
sting
playing.
of pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's frozen for us. Oh, there you go.
Shit. Well,
Yeah,
it was
like it was
on
just-
my end, but
Stuck on its legs and back for a while.
oh, fair enough. Well, it's
I'm gonna blame StreamYards.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and blame StreamYards too, because everything else is working perfectly. But for some reason, StreamYards is telling me that my connection sucks, and it doesn't.
Lovely.
Yeah. So, but says here in Pakistan, people mix the burnt tail with hashish and tobacco to smoke.
Why
I don't know.
can't you just smoke that without the scorpion?
People are always
think
chasing that high. I mean, people have paint too. We know that kills people.
The scorpion's what adds the high to it. Yeah, you don't want to smoking it without. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll smoke some tobacco.
Yeah,
I just don't know
hashish
who-
isn't really. Go ahead.
I just don't know who. Like, you always have to think with these kind of things. There's always a first. There's always one person who's all like, you know what, I'm gonna start smoking some tobacco. You know what, I'm gonna throw a scorpion tail in there.
Right?
Why? I don't know.
Yeah, you always have to think about these things. Like, we don't have to continue with the video here on screen because I know Gal's freaking out about it.
Oh no.
Yeah, but there's always that guy. There's always some guy at some point in history who is just like, what would make this hashish better?
Poison.
The deadliest toxin available.
Bitch, I could get real high.
Right?
And then the other guy's
Like-
all like, we should try it with a snake head. Just
Abusaki, everybody.
Yeah, but you
That's
gotta
Japan.
go back to like the very first guy who thought this was a good idea, right? Did he tell anybody? Did he just try it out? Was it trial and error? Did he survive the first time? Why would it occur to him to do so in the first place?
This is like a guy thing where he, after he was rolling around in pain, like they said, then he woke up and said, oh man, hey Ted, come try this shit.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, you wouldn't believe the high I got from this. It's like, I saw God.
I didn't want to
just-
see the tentacle monster though.
Yeah. I mean, nobody expects the Samuel Inquisition. It just seems like why would people do that in any way? There are a lot of things, like take peyote for example. right? Peyote is used primarily officially as an aid to shamanic and tribal rituals, right? So when you got peyote, right? You know, it's a very trippy thing. I've had peyote myself. It's not that fun, but it does take you. It allows you to expand your mind and go on a vision quest. But my question would be: is like, which is the first motherfucker who was wandering through the rainforest and decided, "Hey, I'm going to smoke that plant." You know, like how do you get to that point? You know,
It was Ryan.
it's like I wonder what happens if I roll this up into a little bitty thing and set it on fire and breathe in one end.
I kind of feel like
Who's-
it's a little bit of human nature. Just like kids who they're babies and young children who just want to put stuff in their mouth for whatever reason, right? In a weird way, but like they're like, oh, my toy car was in the dirt, and they're like, oh, and you're like, no, no, no. Yeah, that's the only thing I could figure. Coming in
Yeah.
mid sentence, by the way. Hey,
No,
Zillich.
no worries.
So
Yeah, you
was it
missed the.
were the scorpions? It's like
Yeah, did you see that thing about the scorpions at all?
It's okay.
People are
We don't
smoking
need
scorpions.
to revisit.
It's not the one
Yeah, that's
where JT showed JV a video of scorpions and you freaked out, right?
No. This is a recent. I don't know how recent it is, but it's recent news to me. Apparently, people in South Asia are smoking scorpions to get high, and apparently, it's more effective than heroin.
Oh, well, it's probably not more addictive than heroin. I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, like the thing we read said that the person spends the first 6 hours in pain while their body adjusts to the toxins, and sometimes they don't adjust and they just die.
I want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why
wanna do
anybody
that.
would do that. You know, that's where we were getting at with like, who was the first idiot who thought this was a good idea?
There's always one. There's-
That guy.
You know what it was? Like I said, it's some white dude. He went down to the Amazon and he's walking through there, got lost, saw the ayahuasca, whatever, and ate it because he's desperate. He came out there and went, man, dude, my way of thinking has changed, man. And so then the natives are all, oh, the stupid white guy. Hey, wait, we can sell this to other white people who come down here.
Yeah, it's like you go to Haiti and there's like, oh yeah, we make zombies with this powder. Definitely. You know, you want some? I'll sell it to you. You know, the rest of the time they're just going about their lives and shit. You know, when the white Americans aren't looking.
well, it's like pufferfish, right? If it's not prepared correctly, you will get poisoned and die.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. One nick of the liver and you're dead.
Yeah. And this is something that is prepared in the Western world. If not prepared right, you're dead.
Yep.
Who says, hey, I want to ride that train, bro? What's wrong with you?
It's 100%. That's how it went down, devil.
Yeah. I don't do that stuff. Screw that. Give me a fish stick. Cheap dude.
Wait, the devil's boring, but he entices everybody else to do it? That sounds about right.
You know, though, that specific puffer fish, I forget the name of it, but the one that kills you if it's even got a little bit of the lever.
Yeah.
If it's prepared correctly, is supposed to be one of the most delicious meals on earth.
Mm-hmm. But
I'll just eat pizza and then regret my carb intake later.
I mean, I might risk it.
For the biscuit.
You know, it's like, yeah, it could go bad and I could die. But on the other hand, if I don't, what if it's really that good?
I mean, you got kids, dude. Like that's a bigger risk than like me personally, right?
I didn't say I was gonna go down to the street to the local fucking like sushi mart or whatever right now and do it. Just saying, like at some point in my life, yeah, I might.
I don't know, man. Like I think all of us here can understand human error, right? You know, Samuel, you've been in a civil service job. I've been in the military and civil service. Gal, the military. Devil, you're just the devil. So you know humans. Human error is a margin that is horrendous. So
Yeah, it's huge. It's not a margin.
Yeah.
It's the whole sheet of paper.
Yeah, there's only certain chefs that are allowed to prepare it. I think you have to be like literally
Uh-huh.
you have to go through tests. I think. I know it's called fugu, but like I said,
Yeah.
Okay.
it's you. Not many places have it because of that. And why would they want to take the risk? Because
I'll stick with the spicy tuna rolls. Personally.
I'll stick to not seafood.
Oh, really? You're not a big fan of seafood, huh?
no.
I like I'll try everything. I'm not gonna say everything. I'll try most things once.
Mhm. Yeah.
I like
What's kind
shrimp,
of
calamari. I don't like
yes,
the
fried
ta-
calamari is very good.
Yeah, I don't like the taste of the sea. So like seaweed taste. If
Yeah, no,
that's
I
not
get you.
cooked out of it, I don't like it. And so I don't like fish. I don't like the texture of fish either.
I'm not bad with certain I don't mind sushi, some sushis. I'm not big on a sashimi. I don't like a raw fish. But I'm not a big fish person either. I'll eat a shrimp every once in a while, like if it's like Chinese food or something, but otherwise I'm just not that big on it. And like I said, I'll eat like fish sticks, like fried fish, just fine. But otherwise, yeah.
I really enjoy sushi. It depends what it is. I've tried a lot, however, but no, I don't. Uh, when it comes to shrimp, I think shrimp is great. Depending on how it's prepared and stuff like that. It's just crab is incredible. But no, I kind of feel where Gal's coming from. That I'm not a
Yeah.
massive fan of the overly fishy taste that you can get. I think lobster prepared right is very good, very good. But
I
if
had
if I had to
food.
pick, crab is my favorite.
Listen here, Andy Pickle. I had food in Nollins. You don't have to have seafood there. But it's also, like I said, there are some foods that I enjoy. I had
I mean, do
fried
mud bugs really
alligator,
count as seafood?
but
No, bugs don't count as seafood. That's not a thing. No, there's bugs.
Mud bugs. Mud bugs are crawfish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're crawfish. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll eat a
technically
crawfish, but
would.
I won't suck out the head. I won't do it. Sorry, nope, nope.
Blech.
We used to catch them and cook them when I was a kid, right out of the creeks.
Oh yeah, no, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
like that was. There's even mud bugs here where I live.
Yeah. Actually, for those of you out there who've got like little kids who like to go catch these things, one of the things I found that works nearly 100% of the time, they cannot get enough of bacon. Put a little bit of bacon on a string, and they'll go right for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is bacon.
Also, Andy Pickle says boudin and fried gator both.
Fried
chef's
gator
kiss.
is delicious.
Oh
Like,
my
fucking
god,
love
it's
like
gator.
little
incredible.
nuggets. Oh my god.
Look,
But
for those of
boudin
you out
is
there,
so good too.
for those of you out there who have not tried gator, right? Especially for you vegan fucks,
Yeah.
there's nothing on earth like eating an apex predator to make you feel like a god. Just saying.
And it tastes like chicken. It's
It
delicious.
tastes better than chicken.
So like some of the pieces that I had, this was back in November, they were a little chewy, but other pieces were perfect. So
Well,
They
it-
may
it
not
was-
been off the tail section because the largest muscle on a gator is the tail.
Well, that's the reason why it's chewy is because gators are all muscle. They're
Mhm.
just very muscular
Yeah.
animals. So any meat you get from them is going to be very chewy because
But
any
the most tenderized part is going to be kind of like a crab. I'm sorry, a lobster. It's going to be the tails. Sorry, devil. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem.
They don't have a lot in the way of most reptiles actually don't have a lot in the way of fat. That's
Yeah.
more or less a mammalian thing.
Yeah.
You get some of it with fish too, but not nearly as much as mammals because cold-blooded animals don't have the and particularly predators like gators and whatnot. They spend almost all of their time conserving energy so that they can have like that explosive strike to take down
Mhm.
dinner. And 9 times out of 10 they fucking miss. So they don't have a lot of fat on their bodies because they spend a lot of time not eating. So
It's kind of like a cheetah.
Mhm.
yeah.
It has a limited burst, and if it misses, it has to recuperate before it can try again.
like that.
Also, if you actually ever try maybe a turtle, it's best to cook it in the shell because it acts like an oven, and you put it on a campfire and you just cook it for about 30 minutes, and it's It's actually very good.
No thanks.
Zillage asks. Zillage
What
asks
do you mean
about
no
snake
thanks?
meat.
Just
Not
hit it with a
eating
knife and the shell falls off.
Oh.
All right, sorry, go.
Zillage is asking about snake meat. I've had a couple of different kinds of snake. They do taste different. They don't all taste like chicken.
I want to try it.
I've only ever drank snake.
What?
Habusaki.
Oh, I don't.
Totally.
I didn't know what that meant.
It's a Japanese drink. It
Okay.
is very, very,
Potent.
very strong. Yeah.
Yeah, they literally
you-
rolled a whole snake in there.
You get your shot and a bucket because most people can't keep it down. I proudly kept it down.
See,
And
that
was
kind of
coked up
feels
for the
like the
rest of the night.
whole. That kind of feels like the whole tequila and the worm thing at the bottom. Like
Never eat the worm.
that's not actually a real thing with tequila. That's an American thing they invented.
Correct, but in
Mezcal.
Japan, it's a real thing. Like
Mezcal.
I mean, it's a
yeah.
real thing, but it was done as an American thing. So
yes, mezcal, correct. But
They do put the worm in.
Habusaki, not so much.
all right.
Yeah.
Well,
It looks-
I've never
in-
tried it.
I've
In
seen
terms
it.
of
It
eating
looks gross.
Yeah. In terms of eating snake, though, like rattlesnake tends to taste quite a bit
Fine,
like
get us
chicken,
back on
right?
topic.
I'm trying to. Python has kind of a different flavor. It's sort of tastes a little bit like like you guys ever been in a room with a bunch of reptiles, like live reptiles?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how it's got that kind of musky, like moldering pile of leaves smell,
Yeah.
right? Python doesn't taste too dissimilar from that smell. It's not that good.
Doesn't sound.
Yeah.
Now, rattlesnake,
Uh,
I do want to try because obviously a rattlesnake is a more active snake, right? And of course, your constrictors are more kind of like a little bit slower, kind of but no, I've never had the chance to. I mean, I know how to peel a rattlesnake and stuff like that, and it's like, but I've never had the chance to eat it.
I got a recipe. It's an excellent recipe. That one thing you don't want to do. I tried this the very first time I ever cooked rattlesnake. I made a huge mistake. This is not a good idea. So what I did was I tried to make a barbecue or grilled kebabs right out of it. There is not enough meat on a rattlesnake to make that work. You end up cooking most of the meat off. A lot of it sticks to the grill and you burns and shit
Yeah.
like that. You lose a ton of meat. Do not do it that way. It's not a good idea. One of the recipes I did find that's very good. You take the snake, right? You want to get rid of the head and the tail. Obviously, those are inedible.
Yep.
It's mostly bone and keratin. So
Yes. Yeah.
and also you don't want to be eating the venom gland. That's a terrible fucking idea.
Yeah. Also, the
so you
bones
get-
are so fragile that, quite frankly, you can just kind of like peel it off like ribs, and if you
Well,
even you get a little bit of bone, like it's so
they are
flimsy.
bones, though.
Yeah. It's not it's not like you're gonna choke on a chicken bone. Just FYI.
Yeah.
For anybody who cares, I'd be honest. Other than Samuel and I.
So anyhow, so what you do is you take it, you skin it, make sure it's gutted and cleaned and everything. You do that just like you do with the fish.
Yep.
And then you take what's left, which would be the skeleton and all of the muscle that's still attached to that. And the thing about snake bones is, so a snake skeleton is almost all ribs and spine, right? From one end to the other. And it is a lot of bones. So the easiest way to debone them is to drop them in a stew pot and let it stew for like 12 hours or so. The meat will fall right off the bone. You can just pull the skeleton out. I mean, you take that meat,
didn't
you
know
scrape
that.
it up. Yeah. You scrape it up and then you can do all kinds of different stuff with it. My favorite thing to do with it is make homemade biscuits, right? And bake the meat into the biscuits. And by this time, of course, the meat is more or less cooked. It's been stewed for, however long. So you don't really have to worry about that too much. Plus baking it will, help with that. But the thing you got to remember about reptiles, guys, is they carry a lot of the same diseases that poultry does.
Yes.
So you need to make sure that they are thoroughly cooked.
Yep.
Like if you're ever cooking gator, treat it like raw chicken. Make sure it's thoroughly cooked and it'll be great. But, if you don't, I mean, yeah, you can end up with salmonella real fucking easy.
Just for the record, I'm coming to visit you this summer, so we can eat some fucking snake. Gal looks grossed out.
I'm not gonna. No, I'm good on reptile. Yep. I might try it at like a restaurant. I'm not cooking it myself, especially if I have to take the spine out of. Nope, I'm good.
Well, no, so basically you cut the head off and you take it in the skin and you use it in the guts and the skin with your thumb out the bottom like a fish.
I'm good.
What do you mean? No.
I'm good.
Have
Okay,
you ever have you ever cleaned a fish, Gal?
Nope.
Okay, well that explains that. I was gonna say it's not that different.
I would
It's just
totally do
longer.
it.
Well, yeah, because when you actually have a
Okay.
fish, you actually find the booty hole and you actually stick the knife in and you slit it up towards the head, and then you actually take the guts and you grab it and you yank it down.
I'm not going
Gee, in
to.
case anybody who cared.
Ryan's
I'd be
looked for-
perfectly fine doing this with venison.
You can
Ryan.
tell who grew up in the country a little bit.
Ryan's looked for many a fish's butthole.
I
Well,
have
apparently-
because
Apparently,
where
he
you
wants
gotta
to eat
start.
Snake with ham, so I guess they're
oh no.
proclivities.
I don't know. I grew up eating shit like rabbit and snapping turtle.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
is illegal.
Well, yeah. We have
snapping
turtle
turtle
call.
is I was in Nebraska at the time. It's illegal in Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
They're endangered or something. I don't
I-
know. They were delicious, whatever.
Real quick, 5 seconds. I remember the first time my mom's work, right? So I grew up in a small town. My parents were not from the small town, but I grew up here. We went to my mom's work, and they made tacos out of deer meat. She didn't tell us till after the fact, my sister and I, because she thought we would freak out. We didn't
Tell you it was
care.
Bambi.
No, she's like, I didn't want to tell you guys that it was deer meat. And I was like, that was deer meat? I was like, oh, like 11 or 12. And I was like, that was good. And she's like,
Because it is.
okay.
So when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I walked in on my dad cleaning the deer. Right, I'd never seen anything like that before. It was a lot of blood, a lot of meat, and I asked him what it was because I had no context, no frame of reference for that at the time, and he told me it was Bambi.
Well, I actually, my best friend growing up, his family going hunting, like when you killed your first animal, right? So I actually went hunting with them. Once you killed it and you started slicing it open, his dad would take his hand and put it in the blood and smear it on your face.
Mhm.
And that was how
you eat the heart.
Yep. No. That wasn't a thing.
It
So
was for us.
Protein.
it was.
You eat
What
the
did
heart
you
of your
ask
first
me?
kill.
You can eat a heart. Yeah, you can eat the
Oh,
heart.
you asked heart. I was actually just going to ask him that. Okay, I just didn't hear what you
Yeah.
said, Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you
it's
can actually eat a heart.
It's kind of it's a rite of passage for some young hunters is that you eat the heart raw of your first kill as a sign of respect.
Yep.
Mhm.
You don't actually have to eat the whole thing, but you do have to chew and swallow a bite of it.
Yep.
I don't. was like, what the fuck? Where'd you guys
Yeah,
grow
that's-
up? Fucking Appalachia?
Montana.
Kind of. Dude, I was at work. Look, I was at work not yesterday, but the day before, and no, it was yesterday. And let's just say this: I was driving down the road, and there were two sets of sheep and 2 lambs running down the road. Literally just a rural road. And I sent it to them. They're like, "Oh my God, there's sheep running down the road." I'm like, "Yeah, it's just another day in Colorado. Like, what do you want? Just the country. Like, these are very different in the country.
Yeah.
They're better.
They are
Well, it's
better in the
just-
country, unless you want to eat snake, gal."
There's no requirement to eat snake just because you're in the country. Thank you very much.
There is if that's all, if you're in the country by yourself trying to survive, and that's all you
Right,
can catch.
exactly. How often has that happened? Don't answer, Sam. How often has that happened to you?
Oh, to us both in general?
No, not to Sam. I'm not asking Sam.
Oh,
Seems weird.
it's
She doesn't want me to
it's
answer.
very easy to get lost in the woods.
I don't
Question.
I don't get lost in the woods so much as it takes a long time to walk places in the West if you have no vehicle.
Yep.
Yes, it does.
So,
It-
yeah.
My friends were psychos. We used to ride up the road, and literally it was the dirt hills behind where I grew up, and it hasn't changed a whole lot in the last 25 years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why, not to get on the whole New York topic or anything like that, but I always laugh when I hear some liberal commie tell me it's like, oh, you red states, you'd never survive without all the money that the blue states pour into you. I was like, well, you don't really pour that much money into us, first of all. And secondly, we're witnessing right now exactly how hard you're going to have it without, blue collar workers from red states bringing you your shit. I, on the other hand, grew up in the fucking woods.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Do you watch Awaken with JP?
On occasion, yeah. He's funny as hell.
He recently uploaded a video about New York, and it's pretty funny. And basically
That is,
has to do with this. It was great.
That's such bullshit that blue states keep red states. That
Right.
we need them. That's complete bullshit. They need us to.
Oh, yeah.
They would starve to death without the red states. That's where your
Not
food's
just eat.
eaten.
They're the organs.
Well, they wouldn't necessarily starve to death per se. They'd start to eat each other at some point, because after about a week of not eating, you're going to eat whatever you can find. Rats, bugs.
I figure when you get to a point where you're competing with the subway rats for food, then maybe it might be time to ask for help. Just saying.
Yeah.
What they consider the flyover states that are the red states, I consider those to be the organs of our working body of a country. And
Pretty much.
the interstates are the veins, and the trucks are the blood pumping through them.
That's actually an excellent way to put that.
The extremities that are not necessary for the body to survive, yeah, that's the blue states.
Mm-hmm.
And LA's the anus.
Yeah.
It is in fact a shithole.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you notice, they cleaned up San Francisco before they did LA, because Xi Jinping decided to visit.
Yep.
Zillich brings up a great point, and
babies.
it echoes what Ryan said. They would rather eat each other than eat animals anyway. I agree, and it'll bring them so much closer to those Native Americans that they're always talking about, like, hey, we should give the land back to you. Yeah, they did it too. They ate each other too. Just saying, you could be more like them. Go for it.
Yeah, they did. I mean, go ahead. I mean, it'll just make you more psychotic than you already are from whatever
That's more
ailments.
Brain, if you're eating
Yeah.
brain.
You can't eat human brain.
Well, the thing is that actual cannibalism actually will create, from what I understand, chemicals released that'll actually drive you slowly into madness.
That's
Even just
prion disease.
yeah.
From eating the brain.
Yeah, it
is. There are microscopic things in the brain, tissue specifically. Although you can find them in other parts of the body, it's just rare.
Yeah.
But mad cow disease. It's mad cow disease. It's exactly what it is.
Yes,
mad cow
yes, it
disease
is.
by feeding cows to cows.
Yeah.
So,
it's weird. You probably shouldn't eat your own dead.
Right.
It's almost like if you actually kill. I've actually killed a wasp as a kid, right? Because I was taking down a wasp nest for my dad when I was a kid, and I killed one of them, and like it actually made the other wasps scatter for about 4 feet around me, because they didn't like that signal, that scent of their own dead.
Well, fuck wasps. They all should die because they have no use, and they're just assholes. Bees have their use, and wasps kill
Bees
them
are
for
massively.
no reason.
No, I know.
Fuck
Yeah,
wasps.
Everything has a use, though.
And they don't die when they sting you.
No, I know.
Fuck wasps. They're just assholes.
you-
I don't know
Wasp
why I'm so
asshole.
passionate against wasps. Sorry.
Well, I've been stung multiple times. So, the worst was one of those giant like yellow jackets in Florida. It's like over an inch long,
Mhm.
and they're red, black, and slightly yellow. That felt like fire in my veins. I've never felt anything like that. I stuck my hand in a mailbox because that's when I first started working for the post office first year, and I pulled my hand out, and this thing was attached to me. This thing this long, and I was flinging my arm. and it just held on. And then all of a sudden I went whoosh and brushed it, and it finally flew away. And I was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
You know, my dad used to win bets and
Bug
bars
wise.
with wasps and hornets and such.
He used to
bet the
what?
other guy. He used to win bets and bars.
That's
You know, like he'd bet somebody that $100 that he could pull the wings off a wasp without getting stung, and he'd win every time.
is it okay?
It's a funny thing about that. So how a wasp stings, they don't actually like make a new hole in your skin. They insert the stinger into an open pore. When you hold your breath, your pores cinch up.
So they trap it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I didn't believe him at first, but I have prevented myself from getting stung several times by doing that.
Interesting.
You know, but yeah, they cinch up when you hold your breath, and it makes it much harder for the wasp to get in. Not impossible, but much harder.
Get stung on the ass by a wasp. You clinch
Oh.
up.
What? What devil? Zillish, why do they love metal boxes anyway? For the most part, wasps love anywhere that's secluded, right? Like any other animal, they want to be secluded, or any other insect, they
In a
want to be
cool place.
secluded from, from actual interference from possible predators, because everything has a predator, even human beings. Maybe not necessarily in a city other than other human beings, but if I decide to take a trek in the middle of the, maybe the African Sahara, I'm gonna find some problems. So
Did you guys ever see Primeval? It
no,
was a movie a while back with the guy who played Dracula in the third Blade movie. I forget his name, Dominic.
Yeah.
And it had Orlando Jones in it too. And he was like they were going out there to document the story of Gustav and Little Gustav in Burundi, which is a true thing. This is a fictionalized account of a true story. So for those who don't know, Burundi is a very small country. It's Central Africa, right? There's a river that runs through it. It's war torn. It's known for genocide and for all kinds of bad stuff there. And there was a dictator whose name was, or a warlord rather, whose name was Little Gustav, and he killed so many people that he clogged the river up with bodies. This engendered a large Nile crocodile who started eating those bodies, got a taste for human flesh, and then started taking people himself. For 80 years, this crocodile ate more people than the warlords killed. Like, he's got a huge body count. He's one of the, if you're counting non-human creatures, he is probably the most prolific killer in human history.
Isn't he supposed to be like 30 foot long?
Yeah, they think that they finally killed him about 4 or 5 years ago. But the thing about reptiles is that they don't die of natural causes. They can starve to death or they can be killed, but they don't die of old age. And the more they eat, like fish, the bigger they get. You know, he was estimated to be something like 130 years old.
Lovely.
Something like that. They tried to shoot him. They tried to catch him. They tried to blow him up. Nothing worked because the bigger he got, the thicker his hide got, and all that. Anyway, so they made this movie about it. It's actually very good.
Like Placid, huh?
It's except it happened. Yeah. And also less funny, although there's this one bit where Orlando Jones, who's a Black American photographer and videographer for the journalists, gets lost and separated from everybody else, and he runs into nettles and giant snakes and all kinds of horrifying shit that he's not used to because he's lost in the wilds of Central Africa. And at one point he says this line, which just to this day kills me. He goes, "I would never say this in front of a brother, but as far as I'm concerned, slavery was a good thing. Anything to get the fuck out of Africa."
Oh my God. All right. Make sure you get a hard copy of that video movie.
You can say that. We can't say that.
It's a great movie. I recommend it. It's quite a bit more serious than that. But if you've ever watched Orlando Jones in anything, he always brings that kind of humor. Old school Mad TV stuff. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
And
that's
that's
who I
why I
was
like
picturing.
eating alligator. That's why I like eating alligator, like something that can grow that large and terrorize and kill so many people, right? It's at the very top of the fucking food chain, right? Even above humans.
Yeah.
To eat that, I mean, there is a sense of power that comes with that.
I feel as though it would be more so if you did the killing of it.
Oh yeah, that's what hunting is.
Oh yeah,
Oh, thank you.
Definitely, there's something to that too. But
Yeah, would you like to go hunting?
I've been hunting
What'd you hunt?
elk, deer.
Very nice. Not a dick way. I'm not being a dick.
I'm from Montana, dude.
It's gotta be dude.
Grouse.
Shark meat is shark meat's interesting. If you do not prepare it right, it does not taste good. If you prepare it correctly, it tastes great.
See, I'm iffy on the shark meat because it's one of those things. It's like either hit or miss, and it's like there's a thing in Iceland where it's fermented shark meat or something like that.
Oh no. Oh yeah, no, that stuff's not good.
Yeah, and I was like, no.
Man, what the fuck?
It's a
Haven't y'all
variation
fucking
of-
never heard of hamburgers and fucking ham
Yeah,
and
it's-
shit? You gotta eat all this crap.
Well,
What
you
Ryan's
should
talking
realize
about is a variation of like Stromsturming and lutefisk. They use lye to prepare it. It's fermented and rotten, and it's oh my god, it's so awful. I mean, they do that.
it's
so that it
considered a
keeps good.
delicacy.
Man, what?
The only thing I haven't had a chance to eat that I want to eat is bear. I want to eat bear.
Pretty sure.
I've
I
had
had
elk,
bear.
deer, bison. I've had boar. Wild pigs, obviously. The only thing I haven't had is bear because bear is one of those things that there is a chance that it has a certain parasite in it, and you have to prepare it properly. And even if you prepare it properly, it's not necessarily going to be clean, and you catch said parasite regardless.
You heard it here.
So.
Ryan wants to eat butt naked.
Okay, devil.
Well, I mean, how cold is it outside?
Too cold for me.
It's cold.
I mean,
outside.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I just fell in a frigid lake and I crawled out and I had to strip down next to the fire to dry out, I'd sit there butt naked and eat. Why are you pulling your earplugs out? It's not that bad.
Naked and Afraid, Colorado.
Trust me. There's plenty of places in Colorado you could be naked and afraid.
Yeah,
Hell,
you were
in the
near your
Marines.
house if you're
you
naked.
know how to survive falling in frigid cold water.
So?
You have to strip down. I mean, you have to immediately.
So?
Just saying, you'd be naked and slightly afraid.
I'm not going
Maybe-
to choose this.
Nobody chooses it. It's the
Yeah, I don't think anybody chooses to freeze to
You
fall in
asked
frigid
how
water.
cold it is outside, and then you started talking like you were gonna go do it. It was very weird.
He's like those
Well,
Russian bear guys that jump in the fucking ice flow river.
I mean, most of us have been there, right? You step on a little bit of snow or something that looks like, a little bit of ice on, in the street, and all of a sudden your foot falls through and it's soaking wet. Yeah, that was your whole body. You gotta
See,
strip down.
What I would do is I'd be in a hot tub, and then I'd jump out and roll in the snow, and then jump back in the hot tub. Is that the same
Well,
thing?
not if. What's a beard?
I heard
Well,
something
because-
about you getting naked. I had to join. I could
Oh,
not
I'm
miss
sure you
this.
did.
Interesting.
Ryan's trying to find reasons to be naked. He like dips his toe in a fucking cold lake, and he's all, "Oh no!"
I have to get naked.
It's not. I said if
Save
you
my
fall in,
Somebody
in.
come snuggle with me and keep me warm.
Where's Sam when I need him?
Well, that is technically a thing if you're
You
with
and
somebody
Sam?
else.
Yeah,
I
can
mean,
see
I'll
that.
snuggle with you, but I ain't that particular. I ain't that warm.
Save my life, Sam. My footie's cold.
No, all jokes aside,
what?
seriously. No, go ahead, dude.
We can make that deal, but you're not gonna like how it ends out.
Tentacles.
All right, so
everywhere.
back to my original point. If you actually fall in a lake and you actually manage to climb out, you have to strip down. You have to use snow to wipe the snow off your the water off your body. Exercise for 60 seconds and then make a fire because you will freeze to death if you don't. Just saying, it's good survival information for anybody who's ever in the cold.
You know, I don't remember if I've talked about I might have talked about this on the channel before. So one of my mom's good friends growing up married a tugboat captain in Alaska, right?
Ooh,
And
yeah.
his ship went down back in the 80s. All hands lost except him, in temperatures that should have killed him in minutes. But he did that kind of like weird hibernating thing where the body shuts down to a point where it's barely operating just to stay alive kind of thing.
Mhm.
And he was in the water for over 30 minutes before he was rescued. Guinness Book of World Records, if I remember right, for having survived that long in water that cold.
Wow.
But yeah, when they brought him out, yeah, he was very near death, but he wasn't there yet.
Well, that's kind of similar to I think that we actually discussed this on this channel the last time I was on. The chef from the Titanic. He thought he was going to die, so he just got bombed, right? He was just like pouring back the liquor and he got obliterated. And as soon as he hit that cold water, the alcohol actually expands your veins and makes it so your blood is thinner. But as soon as you hit that frigid water, your body freaks out and it contracts your veins and actually so the compare and contrast actually managed to even it out, and he managed to actually live in the water for a couple
Should have
for a
passed the
couple of
bottle to
hours.
Jack.
I was
Yeah,
just gonna say, should have
for a
shared.
couple of hours until he was rescued because he was so hammered off his ass. And he actually treaded water, from what I understand, for almost 2 hours before the boats actually came back. Those are the lifeboats, by the way. If you know the Titanic story, the boats left the stragglers to drown, as you see in the movie. And then once it was quiet, the boats actually came back to look for survivors.
Well, to be fair, like when
Bum,
something
bum,
that big
bum.
is displacing that much water, you can't remain in the area or it will take you down with it.
Yeah, no. He actually had a life preserver on, and which is one way that many of the people who had, if you didn't have a life preserver, the suction of that thing, it's so huge. It's literally like a tornado under your feet. Like you will be dragged hundreds of feet under the water before you could even try to swim up.
No.
And by that time,
And
you've already drowned.
And even if you could survive the whirlpool, the pressure at that depth would,
Oh,
crush you
absolutely.
before you ever came back up.
Absolutely. Human beings can actually only survive to somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 meters without actual without what is it?
Oh,
It's a nitrous
Oh,
nitrous
you talk the bends.
yeah well
Well,
yeah,
to
no.
avoid the bends,
no.
but
After a
the-
certain point, you can't breathe pure oxygen. You have to breathe a mix of oxygen and
Thank you
air.
And nitrogen.
Helium.
Yeah. So thank you, the devil. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, it's what deep sea divers experience. Because you can only dive so far, and I think it's up to like 150 meters, and then after that, you need a mixture because it actually saturates your veins where you'll actually get the bends in real time.
It wouldn't pull you down that far. Once the thing has actually submerged fully, it would pull you down originally because there is a suction to it, but it wouldn't sustain that and draw you down.
Well,
Very deep.
the RMS Titanic was actually 885 and a half feet long.
Well, it went down it went down more vertical. It didn't like the whole ship didn't just go down.
Yeah, no. So what happened is that the majority of it actually like sorry, wrong way. That's what I meant to do. So you have like literally probably the last third of it bobbed as the stern. What's up, Paul? How you doing, buddy? Power Couch Nation.
Hey, Paul.
Say it, gal. Say it. She's not here. I'm just kidding. So anyway, yes. So once the stern actually subsided and actually rested on top, because the air was actually still in the airlocks and the doors and stuff like that, it eventually it actually blew those doors open and submerged. Um, but a human being would probably be drug at least somewhere in the neighborhood of 150, 250 feet below the water. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to die just from that alone. If you're not ready, you will drown because you're going to have to make that trip back up. Say hypothetically, you went before you went down. It's going to be a slow descent that you can't pull yourself up. Think about undertow. It's going to be the undertow of the ocean, probably times 3, and then all
Well,
of a sudden, when you're
there's a dozen things working against you there, including the pressure of the depth and you know the force of the water swirling around you, the fact that
also
your
the
lungs only
frigid
have so
water.
much capacity. I mean, even the pressure alone will force the whatever air you have in you out. At a
Yes.
I mean,
certain point,
you take most
know.
of those things out of the equation, still actually finding up after being disoriented and drugged that far
Yes.
down. You think,
Mhm.
oh, I'll just be able to follow
Because
bubbles.
it's the
It's
pitch
at
of black
night,
too.
you're spun around, and so
It was
you just got to pick a
2:14
direction.
a.m.
Yeah,
2:14 a.m. U.S. Standard Time. Sorry, Eastern Standard Time. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it
there
was,
was a big ass ice cube in the water with you.
yeah. And on top of that, you're talking about 34-degree water. I know that we've gone way off base on this, but it has to do with our original point. Yeah, it's like the water was 34 degrees. That is enough that if you were to jump in it right now, you would actually be, your body would be fighting off shock, hypothermic shock, because your body's like freaking out. Like, we went from this to this.
You can
So,
actually cause a heart attack. They
Yes.
they have this place in, I believe it was New Jersey. They did a amusement park. They actually made a movie. Johnny Knoxville did about it called like was it Wonderland or it was some uh amusement park. And at that time, amusement parks didn't have no regulation because the government just hadn't really got around to putting it in place. So they had a bunch of rides that were dangerous. They just put together no engineering to it. They just stuck it together, plywood and shit. And they were having like ambulances having to come there like 20 times every day to pick people up who were getting injured on these rides. And one of them, they had a natural spring. And so the guy decided, well, we'll have people just jump into it and it'll be this, natural kind of thing. The water was so cold that when people were actually jumping into it, would send them to shock and cause a heart attack. And so they were actually having people have heart attacks just from jumping in the damn water at this
Yep.
place.
but that was Action Park, right?
Action Park, that's the name of it. Yeah. Action Park. Yep. Whole bunch
The
of
story
stuff.
behind that thing is crazy.
Because the instance you jump in that water, right? It's just above freezing. Your body goes, you can't breathe. Like, and your body starts to go into a fight or flight mode. And the thing is that it is so frigid that your body doesn't know how to react to that, because the veins constrict. Like, they go from here to here. So the reason that the chef, who is bombed off his ass, feeling loose, man, that's how your veins feel when you're drunk, right? That's how the blood flows. That's how alcohol circulates through your veins so fast. If you don't eat anything and you're tearing it up, so your veins go from normal here to here. Your body, your heart goes from 0 to 1,000 times of having to pump that pressure through your veins, and your heart just goes, I can't do it.
It's
It's
like
a massive
being made
gamble.
love to by Dermy.
Oh,
It's cold, it's dark, and there's a lot of pressure.
I'd rather be on the Titanic, actually. Anyway,
Beard of Liberty, welcome to the show.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, thank you. I hope I can contribute something. I'm actually nursing a giant headache. I almost didn't take your invitation, but I thought, I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. I can at least pop in for a little while.
What happened? You're hanging out with Dermy?
Oh, that'll do it. But it's
I heard
Texas,
Ball
it's
Busters
pollen
last night was a
season.
little weird.
I didn't catch that.
Devil.
The show. Oh.
What? Why are you asking me?
Was Ball Busters last night a little weird?
Well, Dermy got so much damn money. He decided he's all, if you guys give me X amount of money, I'll do all these nuts and shit. He ended up making over $1,000 in
Yeah, he did
So
pretty well
he's
for
dead?
himself.
3-hour stream.
Is he alive?
You don't know.
And then he came on my show after. He came on the pub afterwards.
Okay,
so
but nobody's heard from him since.
he might be dead. I don't know.
Somebody
could
call
be.
the
He was not
police.
doing well. He was not doing well last night on the pub at all. He was barely able to sit upright. He looked like he was about to,
I know. I
projectile
caught.
vomit at any moment.
I know. I caught the pub late night.
Dang.
Like you got, it was I'm sorry, Epic Mike and Samuel, and yeah, no, I was just like, but I saw earlier, I was like, well, that explains why Dermy screwed up.
Yeah. Yep.
No,
Lots of
he's
hot
alive.
nuts for that boy.
He's alive because he's actually, I think, put in the vets thing that he'd be on tonight for a little bit. So he's still breathing. Don't know how his colon's doing, but
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm gonna put this out there. Like I know that a lot of YouTubers, especially in our sphere and whatnot, we do. I say we, not me. They do a lot of crazy shit to get to make some money on the platform, and a lot of it is really damaging to themselves, and I just don't understand that. You know? It's like I don't get it. I was like, no offense, chat, but I'm not gonna hurt myself for you guys. I'm just not doing it. You know?
Yeah. Samuel's like, I did that years ago. I've already hurt myself. He's like, I don't need any more.
My 20s were rough, dude. I'm not living through that shit again.
Yeah, Samuel's like, I hurt myself today.
they don't give you money for doing stuff you want to do. I mean, it's not like,
Yeah, that's very true.
Timmy 20 and I'll make out with this hot chick for you guys. Like,
That's more of a chatterbait thing.
Yeah, it's more like punch yourself in the nose for $20, and Dermy's like, okay.
He's like, hey, tell you what, I'll punch myself in the nose and then immediately punch myself in the dick for 40.
Yeah.
Like he keeps upping the ante and
like at the next meetup, he was like, I think this is the one he was going for too, right? He's like, he's like, for $500, I'll let somebody tase me in the balls, and I'm like, you don't want to do that, dude. Like, I've been tased, but it was in the back. You don't want to do that.
Jackass.
He's like, no, I'll do it. $500.
Yeah, because the tase is one thing. Then they have to remove the barbs.
Oh no, it'd be a stun gun. But the thing is, though, is that it would be literally right on his nutsack. So that would kill any swimmers there are forever. Almost.
I've been hit with a stun gun.
They would retract inside of him.
Yeah.
They didn't. He didn't get the $500 for the balls, but he is being tased in the ass. He's being pepper sprayed, and Gal gets to punch him in the dick. So.
Okay, who's pepper spraying him?
I think Cash Kester, I think, is the one who gets the pepper spray him, and then Adam
okay, tell him to DM me. I'll tell him the most effective way to pepper spray somebody. he asked for it. He asked,
his eyes open.
No, not really. Not really. The spray moves so fast that you can't actually close your eyes fast enough. Also, at the same time, if he's actually a nervous flincher, all you have to be like going, ready, 3, 2, 1, and then when he flinches and he's like, just hose his shit.
And from what I understand, if you don't wash it off properly and let that spicy water run down your front, it'll start burning your dick too.
Okay. As somebody
you're
who
supposing he has a dick. That's
somebody who's been pepper sprayed. So you actually, no, not in the dick. No, I never actually had the problem of washing the pepper spray after training out of my nether region. Because I usually would. It's gonna sound terrible. I'd act like an ethot and stick my ass way out.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
I mean, I never had to get. I never had to get pepper sprayed when I worked security because I didn't take that certification, but it was shown in my class anyway. And my instructor pointed out, she's like, it was one of her classes. She said, see those 3 guys right there and that girl? They're about to find out why you bend over when you rinse your eyes out.
Yeah.
Because all of those soft tissues just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question.
Shoot.
If you had to, no getting out of it, pepper spray on your ass or pepper spray on your package. If you had to go through it,
Ass.
which one would you have to? You choose ass?
Ass.
I guess because at least you can lay on your front and just like, suffer it
Oh
out.
no, it's because even when you're feeling a little ill, right? You have like a stomach ache or something like that, and your body produces a little bit of stomach acid out the rear end. It's more inclined than you know what I mean? Like that's just how the digestive tract works. In case anybody cares, it's just so off the rails.
We got here from talking about truckers boycotting New York.
Did we?
Yeah, that's where this little arc began.
Gal, bring us back to the truckers in New York, please.
Awaken with JP did a funny video. Do you want to watch that?
I don't. Do you have it pulled up? Can you
I
share?
can pull it up.
That's right. Pull it out. I mean, pull it up.
Shut the fuck up.
I've got another article I'd like to talk about before we end the show, but it can wait because
Are we that far in? We're not.
Funny thing.
No. I'm just saying that
Okay.
I think this Awaken thing's good. Dude, pepper spray took us like 20 minutes to get through.
Funny thing is that's not the first time that Ryan said pull it out was surrounded by 3 men. So
Well, and the other 15 minutes was talking about the fact, talking about me jumping butt ass naked in freezing cold water. I mean, I'm just saying. It's great survival techniques for anybody who's in the frigid. Gal, you.
What?
I mean, you live in CO. You could fall in a creek and,
why am I getting like visions of like Ryan fucking doing his own survival show like Bear Grylls, right? It's like just like on YouTube.
Because I no, I'm not gonna actually do it.
He's all, let me tell you, this is how you survive falling in a cold river.
Except every survival tip he tries to show goes wrong. I'd watch it. I'd watch it.
This is how you survive getting pepper sprayed on your anus.
I don't know. Give me.
So Awaken with JP.
Oh, this is him. He is so funny.
Yeah.
And no, Carrie, I'm not gonna do it. Trust me.
Dude's hilarious. Did you guys see that one he did where he's like, I'm a woman now and I'm gonna work out.
Oh my god.
The swimming one.
Freaking
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude's really funny and he's really on point. He's done a couple of I think he did one with where he was playing Brett Cooper's dad.
I think
And
I remember that
she had
actually. Yeah,
really
they did
progressive
like
parents, and she was like,
yes, yep.
I gotta
Yes.
tell you, I gotta tell you
Just
guys
coming
something.
out as
I'm a
straight or
conservative.
something. Yeah, a conservative. Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, that was good
So
stuff. So this is from Awaken with JP. If I remember to, I will update the description below with the link to this so as to properly give him credit because this is his content and all. But yeah, let me know if you can hear it.
Sounds good.
All right, sir. Do you know why I pulled you over? No idea.
playing
I
very
only
well
got the
again.
speeding. It's that Trump 2020.
You know what? That's why I asked you to share it. But
Well, I don't know how to do that.
Hold on. I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm new to the actual sharing of things, and like people
No,
share
no.
audio, and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
I
No,
told you how to. You see, you didn't even pay attention to me.
I
I'm trying to be
did.
nice.
I was sharing
wow.
things on Rogue's Gallery, but it looks different than what you were showing me.
Jesus. Can I be invited to the wedding when you guys get married, please?
Shut the fuck up.
You're gonna be the flower girl.
I'll be the flower girl all day long as my friends are happy. All right, here we go.
All right, sir. Do you know why I pulled you over? No idea. I don't think I was speeding. It's that Trump 2024 sticker in New York City. That's a felony now. New York City? This looks like Texas. Don't ruin the video now. But here in New York City, it is.
That part was probably like it's up there with my favorite part of this video. It was so dope.
Don't ruin the video now. Oh shit, that's funny.
Or to support Trump. That's illegal? Yep. Mayor Adams has outlawed Trump and anything to do with him. It's a first-degree felony now. That seems pretty unconstitutional. I see you have Florida plates. What are you doing here in New York City? Well, I'm a trucker for Trump, as you can probably see by my semi. You see, I'm boycotting making deliveries to the city to protest Trump's political persecution, where the judge ordered him to pay $355 million. You're refusing to make deliveries in New York City? That's right, 10-4. Well, if you're not making deliveries here, then why are you here? That's a really good question. Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense. Seems like you should be anywhere but here. Yeah, I never really thought about that. I guess it just seemed like being here to not make deliveries here would be the right thing to do. Well, for your offense of using words and your own beliefs to support Trump, I'm going to have to write you a ticket. For how much?
This is factual, by the way. They're doing shit like this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Just the fact that he actually opened his first ammo pouch
I know.
to grab a ticket book. Oh, but he's still funny.
5 years in prison. 5 years in prison? Yeah, but it's not that bad, because after 5 years in prison, you'll be able to stand trial before receiving your actual prison sentence. Do you actually think that's right? Nope, not at all. But you see that surveillance cam up there? Yeah. That there feeds right into Mayor Adams' office. And if I don't enforce his new policies, then they put me in prison and execute my family. That's not good. Yeah, well, I'm told it helps keep New York City the greatest city on earth. Oh my God, that man is attacking a woman. Yeah, he sure is. Are you going to do something? Well, you see, that there man pummeling that woman in the face, very viciously, I might add, he is an illegal alien, and she is a citizen of New York. And you see, Mayor Adams has made it a crime for us to stop crime that's being perpetrated on citizens of New York by people who are illegally here. Sanctuary city kind of thing. He's beating her to a pulp. You're the police. Do something. Oh, right. Excuse me, sir. I have a debit card worth $10,000 for you.
Jesus
with
Christ.
Taxpayer money. Oh, and because I'm not checking your ID, because that would be illegal here in New York, you can just go get another one in about an hour or so. Yep. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's nice to see them beating up a woman for a change. Usually they're attacking us police officers. And you just let them? Yep, Mayor Adams has made it a crime for us to stop crime. Crime is fully legalized here in New York now for medicinal purposes. Yet him and his leftist buddies have made...
And then the ad. Look at the ad in the bottom left corner.
Oh no. Brought to you by Awaken CBD. Yeah, no, I see it.
For medicinal purposes.
Doing legal things, like in Trump's case, conducting business, a crime. Yeah, that appears to be the case. Well, that's why me and my trucker friends are doing this delivery boycott to help put an end to this insanity. What's your boycott actually going to do? Well, you know how New York has a population of about 10 million people? Well, with all the sanctuary city illegals, it's a lot higher than that, cowboy. Right.
I'm sure it
a
is.
city with a population well over 10 million. All those
And this
people
is where we
need
get to our
food,
point
right?
earlier.
Good Lord. When did this come out?
Bringing us back to today.
Just today. Okay. All right. Wow. This dude is spot on it. I think this might be his best video to date that I've seen.
Well, I haven't almost died from laughter in any of his videos before. That's new.
Yeah.
Do you know how much of that food is actually grown in New York City? I've never really thought about that. Maybe 30%? None. Zero. It's all
Goose egg.
cooked in and delivered. So with our delivery boycott, the corrupt authorities who are ruining the home of citizens with their lawless corruption will have no choice but to listen and back down at the threat of over 10 million people starving. Well, I hate to break it to you, kid, but I don't think that'll bother him. No. Over 10 million people could starve to death. Well, between you and me, I kind of think that's what they want. Really? Yep. Like they truly care that little about law-abiding citizens? I think it's less about how little they care and more about how much they hate. Whoa. New York.
There it is.
That's correct. Hey, trucker for Trump, you're a fascist! And police, I hate you! You're making the streets terribly unsafe! Defund the police, you scumbag! Defund the police! Defund the police! Defund the... Are you allowed to just shoot people like that? Looked like a zombie to me. It did, didn't it? Affirmative. The city's going to hell. Hey, where's your next stop? Florida. Would you mind taking me there?
Yeah.
Well, I guess, but don't you have... Just get me the hell out of here. Yes, sir. Take me to Florida. Hey, if you're a freedom lover, you know that freedom starts with your health. It's the ultimate freedom. And that's why I am proud to have started Awaken CBD.
Get your money, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, he's Awaken with JP is a fantastic channel because he doesn't pull any punches and he's hysterical while doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. Also on top of that, look, however you want to like cook the books, CBD is actually, you put a little bit like, on your muscles. It feels good. I'm not saying, you gotta, but it is a good product. So, but no, that was hysterical. Holy crap.
Yep. Awaken. JP's awesome.
Yeah, no, I've seen his clips, but I forgot that was his name. Awaken JP, yeah.
Awaken with JP, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the one where he pretended to be like trans at the pool or something like that and jump into it or something. I think that was like the last one I saw. So
I was subscribed to him at one point, but his stuff disappeared from my feed, and I just checked, and I was unsubscribed.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
he probably got a little bit of the band hammer.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be shocked at
that.
that.
But that was one of his best. I agree, because it's like you genuine like belly laugh followed by like standing ovation, and then back to the belly laugh again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's on YouTube. He has 3.03 million subscribers. This video has 17K likes. And it literally came out 8 hours ago. So yeah. It has 110 people who don't like it. Boo.
Well, they're all probably New Yorkers.
Yeah,
that's fine. I say that with a smile and a chuckle, but fact is like with over 10 million people in New York, and I think it's probably closer to 14. There are a lot of people there who don't deserve the shit that's coming their way.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Well,
and that sucks. But this may be the only way the point is made. Although I think he hit the nail on the head in his video there. This is what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They want people dropping like flies.
And they were elected.
Kind of what I see coming from this, and maybe this is just the pessimist in me, is that people will look to the government to fix the problem, and so the city will or the government or state or whatever will basically just, for lack of a word, governmentize a new system to bring in food. And it'll just create more reliance from these people instead of them actually kind of learning the right lesson from it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope not. But I can't, government will never let something go to waste. They'll always take an advantage to get more power and more reliance from the people.
Yeah, they only let professionalism and competence go to waste.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's a sad fact of things. I mean, kind of where we started out with this Beard was that there's a current sentiment online. You get this from a lot of like keyboard commies that the rest of the United States would be fucked if it wasn't for places like New York and LA funding like certain social programs and shit like that. When in fact, the reverse is true. We're the ones who feed them. We're the ones who provide their power. We're the ones who send bodies to the military. Us out in the flyover states and the rural parts of the country, we are the country. All y'all are the fucking ports.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers, but I do know that Texas sends money to other states, kind of like the U.S. sends to other countries, and we still run a surplus every year.
Yeah, Wyoming, where I live, we provide, and I know they're trying to phase coal out, but the fact is it can't just be phased out.
Yep.
Like they're saying,
There
has been a renewed push for going nuclear, which I'm totally fine with. It's just going to take some time to convert. But right now, as it stands, this nation and a bunch of other nations are totally dependent on coal, and a lot of it we produce. And by we, I mean Wyoming specifically. We provide 90% of the coal needs in this country. And China, actually, we provide about 70% of their coal needs.
If you ever drive, sorry.
Pause. Yeah, it's fine. We just, making sure everybody's warm and, has lights and shit.
Well, plus you got to give them coal that they can burn to build those solar panels that they're not going to use.
Yep.
Well, also, it's not that hard. The United States has the most nutrient and literally mineral rich soil beneath us of any country in the world. We could drill for oil, we could drill for coal, and we could actually provide the world, and we could actually be not just the richest country ish right now, we could be the richest country in the world ish. Like, you could tilt the scale so easily. The United States has so much gold, beneath our feet. It's not even funny.
Not just gold. We've got all kinds of shit.
Well, yeah, no, I mean liquid gold. As in oil. We don't have to depend on Russia. I know you lefties, really hate Russia and all that kind of crap because Ukraine, and apparently this loser from fucking Colorado who used to be a fucking DA. He was like going, "We're on the Denver Capitol today and we're flying the flags of freedom." It was the Ukraine flags. I'm like going, "No, bitch. No,
He's never
fucker."
been to Eastern Europe.
I'm like, "No, bitch. There's only one freedom flag on the history of this planet." And I put the United States flag. And I'm like, "You are a fucking loser. I'll pay to send you to Ukraine, dick. Go ahead. Go to Ukraine."
Yeah, there were a couple of guys right at the beginning of this thing who were just like, "Oh, we got to go support Ukraine. I'm going to suit up and join their military." Guys like some high profile dudes too, like Sean Penn showed up first time somebody fired a gun in his general vicinity. He fucking ran to Poland.
Yeah. No, hold on. Actually, it should be something that's brought up because, quite frankly, also in the Colorado 4th District, there's a guy who's a Marine veteran who is trying to usurp. Look, if you hate Lauren Boebert, that's fine. She's a little over the top. She jerked a guy off in a theater. Just saying. She got big boobs, so I'm not going to complain too much. I mean, I haven't. Gal?
You never played the bucket game, Ryan? I find that hard to believe.
So anyway, long story short, this fucking guy, I do want to share this. All right, I'm hopping in my my editing computer because this is nonsensical, dude. It's terrible. Like, what are you talking about here? And it's these people are.
I find it
so Craig Silverman.
That people are saying, "Oh, the flag of freedom," when they showing this shit. It's like, the last fucking part of the world that I would associate with freedom outside of, China or North Korea is fucking Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Ukraine, because it was so corrupt when Mr. Donald Trump was in.
Was so corrupt? Was really?
Well, yeah, no,
We're saying
sorry.
past tense here.
Also, so yeah. Anyway, let's let the flags of freedom fly. Denver, Colorado, and I was like, okay. Of course, Craig
Look,
Silverman.
Ukraine
He
was
had to
corrupt
try.
when
He tried to
Ukraine-
try to correct it, right? I was
Ukraine
like,
was corrupt when Kiev was a Viking outpost fucking 900 years ago.
yes. So I said, this is the flag of freedom around the world, you clown. 31 likes to his 86. I'm a nobody. Look at this guy. Look at a Colorado trial attorney, ex-Denver, basically district attorney, Craig Silverman Law, a popular podcast Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Really? Are you serious, dude? Are you serious? You are a fucking loser.
You know, you guys remember a few years ago when Hong Kong was protesting some of the changes China decided to make?
Yes, they were.
And they were dressed up in black bloc, and they were standing up on top of fucking skyscrapers and shit, flying our flag,
Yep.
begging us to
Amazing.
help them. Which, of course,
And-
like legally, there was no internet. By
Recourse,
international law, there was
yep.
no recourse we had to do there. We couldn't do anything about that. But
And they were singing our national anthem in the streets
Mhm.
while being gassed by the Chinese.
yeah.
This
Um,
this is no, this is not freedom. This is, you are a fucking loser. You are a loser to think that this represents freedom. That's what you are. You're a brainwashed loser, and quite frankly, there is only one symbol of hope on this planet. It is the American flag. It is the most beautiful flag that has ever flown over this planet ever. We have a lot of problems, massive problems, but you know what? Ain't nowhere near the rest of the nations in this world. So, yeah, that's my shtick, and I'm sticking to it.
America.
Marco,
That's right.
fuck yeah! Oh, I kind of wish the
sorry,
soldier
Zillich.
was here for his America. Fuck yeah!
You know, sorry, I had to go do something real quick. Take the dog out.
You were touching it, weren't you?
So I don't know what you guys were talking about. I'm sorry, I'm kind of lost. Just came back to
Colorado being
Ryan's-
commie state of
No, we're not.
California.
We're not full commie yet. No.
All right.
you're too
No,
hopeful.
you're just socialist.
I'm very hopeful.
You're borderline delusional, but
Look, I'm just saying, the Western Slope is not going to bow to this crap.
sure. You keep thinking that.
Why don't you come visit? No, not in a weird way. Not like being creepy, but no, seriously, come visit the Western Slope. Trust me, it's all about down home country.
And it's not the majority in the state.
Not right now. It's not.
Yep.
Just saying
not.
the majority of the Hispanic or Mexican population in Rifle hates the Californians. Hates them.
I understand
Californians hate Californians. What are you talking about?
I know.
True. It's true. I think it's just their default state. They hate. That's it. You know, I wake up in the morning, hate. You know, I don't really
like
care particularly
that.
who
JP
it's
said in his
directed at.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah. JB says build the wall around California. Can we include like the low end of California, because from this point right here to here of California is actually pretty decent because they're all farmers.
Well, look. There is a way. It was lined out in Superman 78, right? All you got to do is you got to set off, certain catalysts, shall we say, for the San Andreas, and just sort of like break that little part off, and then we can just drop it in the ocean or float it over to China or just pretend that they don't exist. It's fine either way. Like line the canal or the Arizona Bay that happens after that up with like sea mines so they can't get back. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Even nature dislikes that part of California so much it's trying to split it off and sink it.
Yeah. California's a really beautiful state, except for 3 parts. And it's all along the coast, essentially. Well, in Sacramento. Sacramento's
it's
a
the
shithole.
majority.
Leaving
sucks.
Sacramento.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody was saying the other day about wall building and stuff. And I was just like, we're always talking about the southern border, and I get why in the moment right now, that is the emergency. That's where we need to be focused and all that stuff. But long term, I think we need to put a wall, at least 2 more walls up. California, we could probably learn to ignore or live with or whatever, but you want to put a
Canada?
wall all the way around the District of Columbia, right? And declare it a no man's land and lock
Yep.
those fuckers in. Anybody who gets elected for anything ever gets put in there, and we forget about them. It's fine. And then, yeah, the northern border.
Yep.
Wall off Canada, or better yet, I heard somebody propose that we get around the current Panama Canal nonsense by just turning the Rio Grande into a 20-mile wide canal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Then we don't need them anymore. We could do that, and we could do it for a fraction of the budget of all that money we're sending to fucking Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
and we could take some more of that and do it again in the north.
And it'll never happen.
I know.
And it sucks.
We'll be waiting until the goddamn stars burn out before anything I want to happen happens. But yes,
Well,
unless I make it happen, and then if that were the case, that requires like raising an army and taking things over, and it's a whole
this whole
process.
thing.
And by the end of it, it won't even be recognizable as a free state anymore. Anyway, so we end up right where they were going in the first place, except I'm in charge, which now that I say that out loud does have a certain appeal, but we're gonna shelve that.
just you don't want that. There's so much paperwork involved.
it's true.
Well, you could just bury the accountants. So, welcome user has been banned for naughty words.
Hello.
So, on a different note entirely, well, kind of entirely, this still ties into like commie rewriting history bullshit.
Gemini.
You guys heard about this?
I don't know. It hasn't.
Yeah.
Oh God. Overhaul of the.
They're doing what they did to the birds, right?
Do they need
out things that
pronouns?
have names of men and racist things that aren't actually racist.
Uh-huh.
Go
Exactly.
flush yourselves.
There's got to
I
be
haven't heard about this with the
paleontologists
dinosaurs, but
dinosaur
yeah.
names.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like we actually named one Megasaurus, right?
Yeah.
I could see where that would be a bit problematic for some people. I think
Gay.
it's hilarious myself, but whatever. Yeah. So it's been 200 years since scientists named the first dinosaur, Megalosaurus. Speaking of which, in the centuries since, hundreds of other dinosaur species have been discovered and cataloged. Their names inspired by everything from their physical characteristics to the scientists who first described them, which is how, by the way, discovery and science works. You find something, you get to name it. That's what it is. Now, some researchers are calling for the introduction of a more robust system, which they say would ensure species names are more inclusive and representative
Oh
of
my
where and how
God.
fossils are discovered. Like the goddamn dinosaurs care, they're dead.
Right? Jesus Christ.
Damn it! I was answering a fucking text message. What about dinosaurs? Fuck.
Oh yeah, they want to rename them because more racism.
Oh,
Yeah.
Need more inclusive language in the system of how we name them.
It doesn't have to make sense to you
so
normies.
so hold on. So Latin is not inclusive, as it's mostly a dead language.
Mm-hmm.
So
If I'm assuming this is like what they like a month or so ago said they were going to do with like bird names, is if like a man discovered it and used his name as part of the naming of the bird, we're going to rename that because he was mean to his female lab assistant or something like that. And so we're going to take out things like that or anything that might be even remotely considered racist by the most crazy person. So I'm assuming that's what they're going to do with the dinosaurs as well.
so
Yes, let's
it's
dig
gonna be
into their-
Ankylosaurus.
Yeah.
Themosaurus.
Well,
Themyscira.
some of this stuff is, you know, a little incorrect anyway. It says here the word dinosaur from the Greek meaning fearfully great lizard. It does not. First of all, it's from the Latin, and secondly, it means thunder lizard. But sure,
Mhm.
yeah. It's not even like dynamo. It's not that. You know, it's not that difficult. So it says here, the authors wanted to know how much effort it would take to address what they saw as problematic names, which they describe as those emanating racism, sexism, named under neo-colonial contexts or after controversial figures. Basically, if you're a white dude who dug up a dead lizard,
You don't get
it's
to-
a problem. Which, by the
yeah.
way, in the 1800s, how many black paleontologists do you think there might have been?
Zero.
American. There might have been a few Asians, but
Also on
they
top
were
of
discovering shit over there. But
also on top of that, it has nothing to do with the people who dug it up. That's retarded. What they're saying is that they're like, well, I mean, we might need to like rename things because like no,
We need
Latin
to ask them their
is a
pronouns.
dead language. Dead.
hold up. So the next sentence makes this even more precious.
Great.
They found several such names, you know, emanating racism, sexism, etc., equating to less than 3% of the dinosaurs they looked at.
Oh my
That sound
god.
familiar? Low percentages dictating how the rest of us fucking speak.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, it's called being retarded.
But how can
Yeah.
they be problematic? I just don't get that. I mean, like racist. Okay, dinosaurs
Dude.
didn't really have a race, dumbasses. Like, how is there
Wait,
is there inwardosaurus? I don't think so. So I mean,
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
would
I-
argue
I-
that it has more to do with who named them than
Yeah,
what they
like-
were named.
it does, yeah.
Digging up the scientists' past from 30 years ago type of thing.
And no, Zillage, Rexy does not approve.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Same thing with sexism. How do you
So,
get sexism?
look,
with
hold
dinosaur
on,
names?
hold on. Just for the record, by the way, the matriarch, the shining figure of the whole entire Jurassic Park / Jurassic World franchise is a female tyrannosaur who survives everything. She's a juggernaut. She's the fan favorite. She's incredible. And then you have secondary, you have Blue, again, a female predator.
Can you-
Given to us in Jurassic World. What?
Can you stroke their egos in private?
No, because quite frankly,
The inappropriate admiration you have for fake dinosaurs is why the joke happened, dude. You don't.
I don't give a shit about the joke. This is a real thing. Look at the article. We can put the joke aside, right? We can let the joke like lie a little bit, right? This is a real thing, dudes. Like you joke about it, but like this is a real thing. They're trying to change science. They're trying to
We
say that,
know.
like, going again. This is like saying, you be whatever gender you want, and then all of a sudden it turns into like going, oh, if your 10-year-old wants to be a little boy, but she's a little girl, she's not a little girl anymore. She's a little boy.
Well,
This is the same. This is the same crap. They're changing science based on the fact that you can pick and choose whatever you believe. If I think that Saturn is made of my farts, then congratulations, Saturn's made of my farts. That's what they're doing, guys. It's I
know.
look, I get the joke, but like we got to actually address the fact that like this is serious.
Well, no, I agree, but it's not like it's the first thing they've ever done this to. They will.
Yep.
There's nothing they don't affect. Soon they're going to want to change the name of colors because those will be offensive. So you can't call blue
They're already
blue
doing it.
because so yeah, it's just this is just another one of many egregiously stupid things that we get from the left. It's just
Yeah, I mean, guys, I'm not trying to stomp on the joke, right? But like this is drastically nonsensical. These are animals. These are who have been dead for millions of years. They don't fucking care. Like it's not like, humans who have only been dead for like 600,000 years, right? Millions of years, tens of millions of years. These animals don't care. And now they're saying, well, they're problematic, and they might have been like being able to do this. Like, I feel like my brain exploded.
Well,
The
right
thing that-
here,
Good.
the problem in terms of numbers is really insignificant, but it is significant in terms of importance. That right there, that's your commie lefty ideology.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I, like I said, and the thing that pisses me off about it is just that they don't come out right and say it. Like you said, them saying it's racist and sexist, it's not racist and sexist. What it is like you said, the people who named them, that's where they have the problem. But they don't want to say that. They don't want to say that we have a problem with these 3 guys. And so we should change the whole thing. So they have to attach, oh, they're racist and sexist. Like I said, you don't have dinosaurs called the N-wordosaurus. So racism, full of shit. Sexism. There's not a make me a sandwichsaurus. It's not fucking sexist. There's nothing sexist about the names of dinosaurs. It's just like you guys were pointing out that there is a couple guys who
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Some sort of bad, thing they did, and thereby we have to upend the whole thing. That's my only problem with it is that they're full of shit in their arguments.
Yeah, no, they absolutely are. And this is. They're talking about, like, for example, many of the dinosaurs discovered during a series of expeditions between 1908 and 1920 by German explorers in Tendaguru and Tanzania, which was then part of German East Africa, were named after German people rather than local expedition members, and the samples remain in Germany. That's because they fucking discovered them.
They can kind of name them whatever the fuck they want.
They can keep
Also,
the fossils too.
Yeah, they can. Also, I always have mouse problems, so I think that's why it skips out. But I was trying to actually highlight this. Andy Pickle says, "I bet Neil asked Tyson likes this." Dude, he has lost his fucking mind. He's an astrophysicist and one of the smartest people on this planet. I'm not saying he's
Don't
Elon Musk smart.
Say stupid shit like that. He ain't
He
that
was
smart.
He was.
He wishes he was smarter than he thinks he is.
No, he's been hijacked by this ideology.
Neil deGrasse
His
Tyson's a
mind
fucking
has
fart.
been hijacked. It's a brain cancer.
Before he got the brain cancer, he was retarded.
User has been banned for naughty words. Devil, what'd you do? Just kidding.
I don't.
Yes,
I
Bill
don't
Nye.
think,
Thank you,
Bill Nye is stupid ass too.
Bill Nye lost his goddamn mind decades ago. As far as Neil deGrasse Tyson goes, like I used to kind of look up to him. I watched a lot of his stuff and all that. But when they got around to that bit where they started saying that first Pluto was no longer a planet and now it's a different classification called a dwarf planet, I was like, nope. And he was fucking spearheading that charge.
Yeah, I was too.
And I was like, no. You don't get to demote shit just because, science comes along and it shows us new information. I was like, Pluto's a goddamn planet. It's always been a planet. And now you're changing your fucking minds. It's like the Brontosaurus Apatosaurus thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, one from Brontosaurus to Apatosaurus. They're the fucking same animal. Of course, this kind of leans into the thing to where Graham Hancock is kind of getting resistance in Egypt of like, the pyramids are this old. And it's like, okay, the oldest, human civilization. And then all of a sudden, Puma Punku, comes out and they're like going, whoa. And it's like, what? Like what? Like, what are you going to say? Like what? Like this structure, right, it's the scientific community has always been very, very rigid, which it should be somewhat rigid because that's its job to question everything, as should be most humans, instead of saying, you know what, I'm just going to believe what the government tells me and I'm going to stick this thing up my ass because apparently it cures cancer. No, that's not a real thing, but it's basically a metaphor for something. No. The human species should always be resilient to things. And science has come along and become the most rigid of all and said, well, we're to science and we're not going to budge and you need to listen to us because we know better. And it's like, no, dude, you can kind of go eat a dick over there. Fuck you.
Here's the thing. Like the number one thing that we've heard in the last 4 or 5 years is that trust the science. And what everybody's forgotten is that first and foremost, science is asking questions.
Yep.
period.
That's why it's called a
And
hypothesis. It's
secondly,
how science starts.
Established science must stand up to scrutiny.
Yep.
Or it's or it's discarded. These are the absolutes of science. But science is a practice. It's not a religion. It's a way of attempting to divine the secrets of the universe. But it's not, it's just it's the whole thing. And so I don't get it. Like when they talk about these names and shit like that. Like Zillage brought up a point earlier in the chat. What are they going to rename the planets next? I would not see. I could absolutely see them doing it. I mean, you take Jupiter, who's named after Zeus, who's a notorious rapist in mythology, or or even better, Neptune, named who's Poseidon, right? Named after Poseidon, who was in the updated, romanticized, and revamped and rewritten version of the myth, raped Medusa instead of just had sex with a priestess who was not loyal to her goddess in the original myth.
Right? Or Mars.
But they'd remove him.
Mars is the god of war. I mean, what are they going to name it to be like?
Yeah.
Going, Zelensky, like because he's the anti-war.
Yeah, let's completely leave out the fact that Saturn cut off Uranus's nuts with his own scythe. It's a whole thing. Anyway.
Well, so the thing, Devil, obviously you're laughing at it, but like, this leftist weirdo nonsense is like it's like opposite culture. Men can be, trans men, trans women are women. It's like, no, they're really not. They're not. Look, hold on. I'm going to say this. If you are not hurting anybody, you are living your best life, i.e. Blair White. You're living your best life. You're not affecting anybody. Go on and get nuts with it. You're not doing nothing wrong. However, if you're some of these weirdos who have a fucking giant beard and you got hairy fucking legs and you put a fucking dress on and you're like going, I'm going to go into the girls' changing room in a high school. It's like, bro, you need to be in fucking jail.
Yep, indeed. This is important to note here too. This line here at the bottom, it says, this team's analysis has not yet been published or peer-reviewed.
Well, I'm sure, because it's fucking stupid.
Peer-reviewed's become a joke anyway.
Well, peer-reviewed is, it's anytime that you get somebody who comes along and says, oh, it's been peer-reviewed, or, oh, the experts say this. Keep in mind that experts are human and can be bought for the price of a grant.
Yeah, it's the modern equivalent of fact checkers say. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, even aside from being bought, there's been multiple people who have published bullshit papers. It submitted them to get peer reviewed, and they basically just get signed off. You put buzzwords in there, they skim it, say sounds good to me. They don't actually read it, and then they'll just say you're done. And then egg on your face when the YouTube video comes out that it was a joke, but that part doesn't ever get pushed around, and so nobody really knows that it's not that difficult. You just have to jump through a few hoops.
Yeah, it's like those guys that Crowder actually highlighted. They were this group of like 3 professors or something, and they put together these stupid bullshit joke like articles and put them out there, and they were published and peer reviewed and all this shit, and they got just backed up because they were saying the right things. There's people who would jump on board and say I agree with this, and stuff, just because it's the thing to say. It's right. The it thing.
Well, this explains everything fairly succinctly, which is no different than anything that we've been saying here. But it says, meanwhile, some paleontologists are trying to drive change within the community. There's been a marked change in the desire to credit formerly overlooked figures when naming new dinosaurs and to ensure that issues of patrimony are faced and accounted for. He adds that indigenous collaborators and colleagues are more often recognized, whereas previously, most eponyms reflected the roles of scientists in the global north. White people. Many, and I got to point this out too. Okay, so for a long time, when they started digging up dinosaur bones 200 years ago on purpose, right? And they started naming the shit and cataloging the shit, and there were mistakes were made and all that. Whatever. The history of paleontology is almost as old as this country, right? But it did not only exist in this country. The thing is that at the time, there were only a handful of civilizations that were even developed enough to waste fucking time doing this. The rest of them were just trying to fucking survive. They didn't have time to go around digging up bones and naming them. And
They
most of those people weren't white.
They started discovering dinosaur bones back in in the mainstream back in the late 1800s during the Old West time. Like all of a sudden, these farmers would be like going, I have this lovely plot of land. I'm digging, I'm tilling. What in the hell is that? That's a bone that's 3 times the size of the cow that I fucking had. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when things started. And for most actual civilizations that were actually developed enough to understand this. Now, obviously, as we progressed into the early 1900s, we became more advanced. So we started reaching out to other countries to try to dig up dinosaur bones. And then, the mid 1900s, and it's like, I don't know what to tell you. What more white people are bad? Like, no, it wasn't all the white people. Like, I mean, yes, there are many Western countries that are considered to be white that actually spearheaded many of this stuff. But at the same time, it wasn't all of them. Like you could literally Google it and find many discoveries made in other countries by other scientists. Guess what? There's a reason they're called Egyptologists. Yes, I know it's a very different thing, but they're called Egyptologists for a reason. You know why? Because they're Egyptians that became fluent and actually studied and discovering and uncovering Egyptology. This isn't hard. I don't understand. Do you think the majority of the white people all went to China and been like going, we're digging up all this Chinese crap? Like going, no, it's just, it's so nonsensical.
There is a little bit of a white pill.
A little bit, yes.
So the ICZN is the organization that catalogs and keeps and preserves all these names and shit. And it says here they are firmly against going back and renaming species whose names might now be considered offensive to some random asshole on the internet, and would not consider banning eponyms. We do not recommend renaming unless there are what we would call former nomenclatural reasons, he adds. This is because the organization places great importance on preserving the stability of names, and this could be threatened if they are changed retrospectively, he adds, which I appreciate that perspective.
So he added he basically added an escape hatch from his opinion.
Well, we're talking about the group that conducted this quote unquote study about this is not the ICZN. They are petitioning the ICZN to see their way, the same way that the fucking commies always do.
Can we get a list of the names that are offensive? Like, again, like Samuel, you said that Brontosaurus went to Apatosaurus. Like, is Tyrannosaurus Rex offensive? Tyrant King? Like, I mean, like, what's offensive?
Considering
the biggest tyrannosaurs were females.
I would say it's not about that might be an issue later down the road, but right now it isn't going to be the dinosaurs who are named fantastical names like Tyrant Lizard King or descriptive names like Three-Horned Face, like the Triceratops. It's going to be ones that are named after specific people and places.
Okay.
Those are going to be the ones they go after first because they want to erase all that shit from history. It's like these guys
fucking white people.
They're going to rename it off after some dude who was fetching fucking coffee for the tents while they were digging shit up.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy is that most of the people digging these bones up, they look like Beard of Liberty. At the time they did. That's not a joke. That's not a joke.
I mean, it is kind of refreshing to see that the actual naming body that controls that stuff is kind of putting their foot down. But and I can send the link over if you want to include it because I've referenced it a couple of times. But in November, that's when it was announced that the American Ornithological Society was going to start renaming things, which apparently they had a group similar to the dinosaur group that went through, found names, said these are problematic, and then the governing body said no, we're not going to do anything. But then one day they just switched that, and everybody, including the people who were petitioning for it, were incredibly shocked. So just because they're saying no right now, that could change on a dime. And like Sam said to you, Ryan, it's not about really descriptive names. It's about people names. Because for this one, it said the group said it will prioritize birds whose names trace to enslavers, white supremacists, and robbers of indigenous graves, specifically targeting people and their histories. So, yeah.
So the fact that literally every civilization in the history of this planet has enslaved, robbed, and pillaged graves,
Oh,
and
that doesn't count, Ryan. That doesn't count. It's only the last 200 years of American history that counts.
Yeah,
damn
yeah,
it, fuck! I relearn history, guys. Sorry, my bad.
So, yeah.
Oh my God, Matt says Bidenosaurus grapri. Bidenosaurus grapri.
Grow Perry.
But real quick, what Andy Pickle said, Tyrant Queen might be more acceptable. I mean, look, and this comes, so Tyrannosaurus Rex means Tyrant Lizard King, right? The thing is, though, is that from the Jurassic Park franchise, again, the original Tyrannosaur, who is in the majority of the movies, indefinitely, is the face of the franchise. They don't call her King of Isla Nublar. They call her the Queen because she is a female. However, she is the largest tyrannosaur of all that were born to InGen, and the largest to ever be captured again by the following company. I can't think of off the top of my head. That was in Dominion. She was massive, but she was a female, and that's how a lot of insects. That's how a lot of lizards. Many times, other than most mammalians, the female is bigger than the male. And so Rexy, being a female at almost 50 feet long and being just a monster of a freaking tyrannosaur, is more interesting than anything. And it doesn't matter what her gender is. She's just an interesting character as a non-verbal character. So Caucasian Sasquatch, the Sniffosaurus in chief.
Yeah,
Sniffosaurus Rex.
Outside of the Jurassic Park franchise, when they go back and they look at what they consider problematic with the guys who originally dug up like the first T-Rex or whatever, all they're talking about is like, oh well, these guys were colonizers who did this thing.
They're a bunch of white guys.
In fact, like if they were to rename it from Tyrant Lizard King, they aren't talking about the actual science, which is the fact of the matter was at the time they did not know how to tell a male from a female at the time. They just found a big fucking lizard with big fucking teeth, and they were just like, well, he's real big. I bet he ate all the other lizards. We'll call him the Tyrant Lizard King because, he probably dominated, right? They didn't know shit about it at the time. They just dug it up and named it.
And the irony is that because they didn't have genetic testing, is that the biggest one ever found is a female. And yes, so like they just, it was just a product of the time. Doesn't mean the animal suffers. It's still an incredible animal. So I can't. I hate all this crap.
Yeah, but that's they were named by people who deemed those names appropriate at the time. The name stuck because that's how this works. You discover something in science, in anything really. You don't have to be a scientist. If you discover something, it is your right to name it. That is universally accepted. If I were to go out right now and discover a new fucking star that nobody's ever seen before, I could name that, and there isn't a goddamn authority on earth that could dispute me unless they, disputed that I discovered it first.
Yep. And you could literally name it Samulus the Infamous. And it would just be a slight extension. I mean, what you would say Samulus or Infamous the Samulus or something like that. Like just like make it sound like it's a little more scientific. And quite frankly, this is something that this is probably one of the saddest things that has happened in archaeology in the most recent time frame. Robert Ballard found the Titanic in 1985. he did not claim the salvage rights because he said it should not belong to anybody. It's a grave site and it should remain such. There was an American company that back in like roughly 2012-ish, 2013-ish, decided to take a piece of the Titanic up from the depths, and they claimed the salvage rights, and now they pillage it every day. And now they own the rights to it because they claim the salvage rights. And that boat forever will be owned by somebody else, and not just a grave, but owned by somebody else. And that is disgusting, in my opinion. Because, again, the person who actually found it, wanted it to be a grave site. I wish he just would have picked up the smallest thing and said, "This is my discovery. It is a grave site. It shall be forever left alone." And he would have owned it forever. And anybody who pillaged it would go to jail for a felony forever. He didn't do it. And now there's another company who owns it. And that's why you see all these Titanic exhibits around the world. Because they are taking things that died around thousands of people. I think it's gross.
Yeah, it sure is. But it just, the renaming thing. This isn't a new thing, by the way. I know we're hearing about dinosaurs now and about birds not that long ago, but this renaming of things is not a new thing. There's been a lot of push, especially in the lower 48, to rename shit. Going back a ways, I think it was 10 plus years ago, there was a petition going around Wyoming to try and have Devil's Tower National Monument renamed to Bear Lodge. Because, Devil's Tower was named by white guys, white settlers who got out here and they saw that. And Bear Lodge is the traditional Native American name for the place. But officially, in the National Monument Registry and by anybody who comes anywhere near the damn thing, it's Devil's Tower, right? And there's a mountain. Well, there are several mountains named after cavalry members who were less than stellar people in South Dakota in the Black Hills. There was one in particular, I can't remember what the guy's name was off the top of my head, but anyway, notorious for raiding villages and fucking carrying off women and children. It's not a good dude, but he got a mountain named after him because he served under Custer. Right. There's a push to change the name of that mountain because, oh my God, he was such an awful person. Why did we name a mountain after him? It's like, well, I mean, the people who named the mountain were kind of on his side at the time. It's just the way it is. And the fact of the matter is, Native Americans out there, Indians, whatever you want to call yourselves, you guys lost. You lost the war. There was a war and you fucking lost. You don't get to come back and claim spoils of war 200 fucking years later after you lost without actually taking it back. You want to rise up and fucking take down the white man and take this country back and all that, and you do so successfully, you can name all the shit you want. But until that day, you don't get to rename shit.
Nope.
It's not how this works.
It's just like, no offense, we're not giving Mount Rushmore back either. I know it's the Black Hills, but you some bitches were fighting over it for thousands of years before we showed up.
It was just a rock then too. There weren't any faces on it.
No, there's faces now. And guess what? It's ours. Come and take it back if you really want it. But no, you're not going to do that. But you know why? Because you're actual American citizens. And you're just a few people who are losers. What's up, Clifton? I hope you're feeling better, dude. You're just a few people who are losers who catch clout on social media for saying, "Give the Black Hills back to the Native Americans. You stole this," and it's like, yeah, the whole world was stolen.
I'm going to say that this is not just on Twitter. This is like where I live. This is an ongoing thing here. It's not just online. There's pushback, there's this and there's that. The problem is that the natives don't have that kind of political clout anyway. And they know that. That's why they start petitions. They try to get people on their side, which is a legitimate and fair way to go about doing things in this country. I mean, it's as citizens, it's their right to do so. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm just saying that it's not going to work. I mean, where I'm at, first of all, there's almost no such thing as a pure blood anybody.
No,
You know, we're all a
I'm
mix of
I'm
something or
not.
other to one degree or another. Most of the darker guys have white in them. Most of us lighter guys have Indian in us. You know, it's
I
a
got
product of
Blackfoot.
living in the same place for 100 years. You know.
Yeah, I got Blackfoot Indian in my family. And it's been found out through my uncle doing a lot of research because my grandfather didn't really elaborate. There was a union back in the 1800s that wasn't really acceptable at the time, and that seems to be where it came from. So, does that mean that I have claims on any land in Indiana? No, because that's where the Blackfoot Indians came from. That area down there. I'm just an American. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter if I drive through. I have family in Phoenix, Arizona. I drive through the Navajo Nation all the time. I haven't in decades until recently, because of course I live in Florida for the last 11 years. I don't look at them as lesser than me. I look at them as Americans. They're just American people. I don't treat them poorly. Like if I'm walking into a restroom and the guy's walking out of the restroom, we almost collide. I'm like, oh, excuse me, sir. I don't say get out of the way, engine, or anything stupid like that. They're just Americans.
Step aside, long hair.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just it's nonsensical at this point.
And look, there's like regarding Mount Rushmore, for example, there's 4 faces on there, right? I have a particular issue with Teddy Roosevelt, but I'm not going out of my way to change the fact that his face is up there.
Green.
I got okay, hey, Green, no worries. She had to head out, guys. Her description is it, or her stuff is in the description below. Go check her out.
Hi, gals. Good to see you. Your hair looks very nice.
See you later.
It looks greener than normal, and I think it looks very nice. Not being sarcastic, by the way. Just for anybody who, I know I get smart ass, but no, not being a smart ass.
Yeah, but the fact is like Teddy Roosevelt kind of fucked the American West pretty hard. You know,
did.
the national park system. My state is home to the first national monument and the first national park, Yellowstone and Devil's Tower. Right, because of that project that he started. 90% of the landmass in Wyoming is owned by the federal government, including all rights to everything that lies beneath: minerals, water, etc.
Yep.
Right. We can't ever get that back because they will not ever give it back. So yeah, I got a problem with Teddy Roosevelt, but he's on the mountain. He's been on the mountain. I'm not out there looking to change the fact that he's on that mountain. You know. It's like just because you find something irritating doesn't mean that you have the right to go and tear it down. That's all I'm really getting at with this.
Hey, Lawrence, we found out Ryan's related to you. He's Blackfoot.
I'm Blackfoot Indian.
Just a split. It's the left one.
Hold on. Oh my God.
And a couple toes on the right.
Oh,
to be fair,
shit.
he wouldn't have a Blackfoot if he'd got his foot out of the cold water and got completely naked quick enough. So
right.
Oh, that
frostbite, dude. It's not genetics.
Have you ever seen frostbite, by the way?
I've had frostbite, yes.
Well, most people don't know what frostbite looks like. It's a deep purple. It's not necessarily 100% black, but anyway. Hi, Larry. Welcome to the show. Of course, you're kind of like the admin on this show. So, 2 hours. Oh my God, I don't know what to say.
I'm afraid to ask, but I kind of need to know.
To catch the egg?
I mean,
it has to be to catch the egg.
Village.
I put on the wrong sock this morning.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
What?
It's a sock. He's wearing it and he walked across the street.
In the sock, so he put the sock on. God damn, dude, shouldn't have to explain a joke to you.
Squatch. Maybe find a lady. It should be to catch the egg.
He's
on
married.
The other side. Oh,
that's a good
that's
joke.
right. He is. I forgot he is. I was on a stream with. It's been a while since I've been on a stream with him. So dinosaurs? Anybody?
Oh,
I'm over
man.
the dinosaur part.
Dinosaur hater.
Dinosaur lover.
Of course, the devil denies the dinosaurs. He's like, dinosaurs. What happened? Are you sure?
Did
Just
you ever
kidding.
hear
Corrupted
that Bill
those sons
Hicks
of
bit
bitches
about
too.
that?
Wait, the what? Devil?
I said I corrupted those sons of bitches too.
I will never forgive you. What have you done
There
to my
wouldn't be a
Rexy?
Megasaur ass if it weren't for the devil's intervention.
Megasaur ass.
Did
So,
you guys
Beard of
ever hear that-
Liberty, Megasaur ass. What do you think about that?
I think that's what you get if you well, you get pepper spray down there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, when you choose the pepper spray
It's
in
a
the
nice
ass,
save,
you
dude.
gotta
It's a
see
nice save.
No. There was a Bill Hicks bit about dinosaurs in the Bible that's pretty fucking funny. If you guys get a chance, it's on the album Arizona Bay. It's very, very funny. But there's a bit in it where guy dies and he goes up to heaven and he gets to the pearly gates and St. Peter's just like, I just got one question for you. Do you believe in dinosaurs? He's like, well, yeah, there were fossils everywhere. He's like, nope, that was wrong. It's one of God's easier jokes. God was just fucking with you, bound for the lake of fire. He's like, but it seems so plausible. Ah!
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's not verbatim. Bill Hicks told it much better, but it's definitely worth looking into if you like comedy, guys.
Oh, I love me some comedy.
So he unfortunately passed away in the 90s due to some complications of his health. No, but
Yeah, love me some
also-
comedy.
Yeah, he was
Bill
he was pretty
Burr.
fucking funny dude.
Bill Burr and Russell Peters are some of my favorites.
I think you definitely need to listen to Bill Hicks's bit on Pussy Whipped Satan Devil.
Do I really need it?
I don't know.
yeah.
You're Satan,
think
so
you do.
would you like to listen to it?
Actually, I wonder if I can.
Devil's like, hold on.
think this
I
is
kind of
this
feel
is
like
a bit- we're
he's
over-
like
we're over
Jim
2 hours.
Carrey. I kind of feel like Devil's like Jim Carrey at the computer. He's like, Bill Hicks, Pussy Whip Satan. So he's like trying to like Google it.
I like to say that no, Satan would never be pussy whipped, but yeah, how scared I am of Gal kind of shits on that.
Well, you know what? I support the devil being in love. I mean, if anybody's going to tame the devil, it's going to be a Marine woman, because she'll cunt punt you into next Tuesday.
Fair.
So 2 hours, huh?
What was the name of that guy we watched the video from? I want to subscribe to him before I forget.
Awaken with JP.
Awaken.
Yeah, Awaken with JP.
He reminds me of do you guys watch that one called what's his name? Ginger Billy?
No.
No.
Never seen a video from him? He's real funny too.
No.
He does comical kind of redneck videos. Yeah. Here, I'll pull one up there. He's pretty funny too. And he reminds me kind of him. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Here we go. If Samuel bring it up, I don't know. He's away from the computer, but
Larry can do it, or I can.
oh, Larry, you can.
So,
Okay, hold on. I will.
but
share
I
this.
will recuse myself to Larry, who is the official producer of this show.
Okay. Ready? I will show.
Yeah.
Okay, I will click on it again. All right.
I want to make one thing clear. If you mess with Brandon, you mess with me. Yeah. Because we boys. Yeah. We friends. Yeah. We boyfriends.
No, we're not. No, we're not. You can't say it, we do.
We're boys and we're friends.
Yeah, that's better.
So we boyfriends. No, nope, we're nobody better mess with my boyfriend. Nope, just friends. Yeah. I want to make.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good ones. Like this
Oh,
one,
he's
BBC.
hold on. He's the one who does the lawn mowing thing
Yeah,
that they
this
put
one with
Beardo's
Lowen.
face on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
He does a lot of good clip ones. Like this one, the BBC, where he likes BBC. Let's see.
Y'all, look who's back together. Me and my BBC. My best black companion.
No, you can't put those letters together, bro.
I just made it up. Best black companion.
You may have just made it up, but people are already using it for something else. You can't put those letters together.
I love my BBC.
Look,
Love him to death. Oh my God! Y'all,
Oh my God, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh shit.
So I
Adding that to my
I ran off to
subscriptions.
take a piss, and this is what I come back to.
Yeah, BBC.
So yeah, I'm gonna take this off the screen. It's just audio anyway, but we should be able to hear it just fine. This is Pussy Whip Satan.
No, but it's hard to have a relationship in this business, man. You're always traveling, keeping weird hours, It's going to take a very special woman, or a bunch of average ones. Which, I'm saying that either way. But anyway, I'm reading this article in the paper a few years ago about Ted Bundy. Now, this is absolute. Listen, there's still a cheering for. Woo! I think you're thinking of a different Ted Bundy here. Not the shoe salesman on the TV show. This is. I don't know what the other connection. Well, this is the guy I'm talking about. Used shoehorn once, but I won't tell you what for because. But anyway. Ted Bundy, the mass murderer, is who I'm referring to. If you're going to pick a hero, do your research. Now.
Yeah, it's this is a bit of the setup. Yeah, Zillich, there's nothing to see. It's just a static picture of it's straight off a comedy album. So there's no picture for this.
But it's funny.
No, but anyway.
Oh yeah.
This is absolutely true. If anyone can verify this, it'll help because it's going to sound absolutely far-fetched. But I read an article in the paper. Ted Bundy's on trial in Florida. On trial, 24 women. The guy killed, I don't know, 24 women. He's on trial. The paper says the courtroom is filled with women trying to meet him and give him love letters and wedding fucking proposals. Does anyone remember reading this fucking article?
I do too.
That's
Yeah.
enough to continue the bet. Now, if no one had applauded, I'd still be doing it. How? We don't know. You have to rationalize on your feet. All I know is I got a script and I'm heading towards the ending. I will not be stopped. Courtroom filled with women trying to meet Ted Bundy, give him love letters and wedding proposals. This is what the article says. And I'm sorry to say the first thing I thought when I read that was, and I'm not getting laid. What am I doing wrong? A natural question. So I read the article in the paper. Woman is suing the state of Wisconsin. Why would anyone sue the state of Wisconsin? Well, here's one. She married a fella on death row. Why is he on death row? He killed 8 women. She married him. There's more. He has AIDS. Let's up the ante of the story. You wanna? Who wants to still play with my story now? Because I'm up in the ante. He is on death row for killing 8 women. He has AIDS. She married him and is suing the state for the rights of conjugal visits. Now, I'm sorry to say the first thing that crossed my mind when I read that was, man, I'm not getting laid. Hey, what exactly are you ladies looking for here? These guys must have been heavy on the sense of humor thing you seem to love so much, your little ladies' polls. Ted Bundy, that old whip. He's hilarious. Some of the things Ted would do. Get me! Oh, what a sense of humor he had. I overlooked the mass murder thing because he kept me in stitches. You know, it's just depressing. You know what I mean? You know, Michael Bolton, Garth Brooks, achy breaky fucking dick this guy is.
Michael Bolton?
Ted Bundy getting wedding proposals. You know, we're fucked up.
What's that, Ryan?
Michael, he's named Michael Bolton. Can you say Michael Bolton, Garth Brooks, Ted Bundy? It's a long week,
Essentially,
dude.
yeah. They were
course,
all pretty.
Michael
popular
Bolton
at the
isn't
time.
no Michael Bolton isn't no talent ass clown, so I get it.
You shut up. He's a national hero.
Oh, devil. What have you done?
So we got about a minute of this left, and it's getting to the relevant part to you, devil.
Up here, man. I guarantee you Satan's going to have no problems on this planet because all the women are going to go, what a cute butt. He's Satan. You don't know him like I do. He's the Prince of Darkness. I can change it. And I bet that's true. I wouldn't give Satan a snowball's chance in hell against a woman's ego, man. He'd rule the earth for a day. A week later, we'd see Satan out cutting the lawn. Hey, aren't you Satan? Shut up. Whoa, Mr. Prince of Darkness, you forgot the edge back. Shut up. See him at the supermarket buying tampons, aisle 3. Hey, aren't you Satan? Shut up. You're pussy whipped. You're not Prince of Darkness, you're pussy whipped of darkness. Quit it, I'm Satan. Ah, bullshit. You dropped your tampon, Satan.
That's the life you have to look forward to, buddy.
Oh, that was hysterical. Devil, welcome to humanity. I hope you and Gal are very happy.
Are you there, buddy?
Yeah,
Did you leave?
I'm here.
He's like, I'm fucking disgusted with all of you.
He's like, I hate humanity so much. Fuck you guys.
I'm gonna go conquer some other planet where they're nice to me.
He's like, damn you, Jesus Christ. And he's like, I don't mean, I'm not taking your name in vain. It's just your name, Jesus Christ. Oh, what a great show.
Yeah, long story short, I highly recommend Bill Hicks's comedy. He is a bit on the lefty side, but we're talking lefty in mid 90s. So, yeah, he's a hysterical dude, or was rather. He's very dead now. He died.
Well, that happens. That happens to comics. The good die young. Robin Williams, rest in peace.
Well, Bill Hicks was a bit of an unusual case since it wasn't something that was related to like depression or self-infliction or any of that sort of thing, which is very common for, performers at a certain age. In fact, 27 seems to be the magic age.
Wow.
Yeah, you got Kurt Cobain, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, like Freddie Prinze Jr., all 27, and the list goes on and on and on. But in his case, there was some like congenital thing that came out of nowhere, which is weird because he did a lot of drugs, and that should have killed him. But it was some congenital thing that came out of nowhere and laid him low. So something that had been haunting him since birth.
Oh, jeez.
Kind of thing. So it happens. But yeah, I think this has been a pretty good show. Yeah.
Yep.
I feel good about it. Nuts are all tingly, and
I had fun. Wait, what?
I feel good about it, except for the whole Ryan getting horned up because of the dinosaurs, but otherwise it was pretty decent.
Just saw the chat. Sorry. Yeah, no, Andy. I think most of us knew. Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for that, Andy.
Not Junior. Yeah.
I'm so used to saying, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Sarah Michelle Gellar, then I just forgot to leave the junior off on that.
Sarah Michelle Gellar deserves so much better than that dumbass.
I don't think she does.
I don't know. Give me 24 hours. I'll let you know.
That dumbass is the way he is because she, we just listened to a video about pussy whipping.
Actually, I think like I've heard stuff from her. I think she's like actually based in comparison to him. It's like I think
know.
like she had some stuff where she was all like, "Yeah, no, they shouldn't change characters. They shouldn't do this."
I don't know if I'd say base, but I'll say reasonable, right? But him, he's an irrelevant weirdo. So anyway,
yeah.
Star Wars, yay!
Well, he does voiceover work outside of Star Wars too. Quite a bit of it actually, but that's about all he does. He hasn't been on screen in fucking decades.
Still, Scooby-Doo movies. Velma was hotter than Daphne.
I don't know.
To be fair, Velma was Linda Cardellini. That's
why I'm saying she was hotter.
Yeah.
I'll say, Beard, don't you make that fucking face. I saw that face when I first said that. You're like,
I had to think back on it. It's been a while.
Yeah. Go back and look at Linda Cardellini's boobs in fucking Scooby-Doo 2. No, it was
amazing boobage. But
he had incredible cans.
That's the image that came to mind when I went back to think. So yes.
Well, there's
all right, air five, buddy.
Distinctively one is hotter than the other. In that case, I think it's just a preferential thing. If you like redheads, you're gonna go one. If you like kind of naughty librarians, you go the other. So I don't know if she would.
Oh no, I was all Daphne until Velma got woof.
In actual Scooby-Doo, no, definitely. Daphne's better than Velma, but in the movies, I'd say it depends on if you're just.
Yeah, the movies really took that in a wonderful direction.
And then there's Jeremy who actually likes Fred in the movies. So.
Ew.
Yeah, there's a porn parody where Shaggy bangs everybody but the dog.
I didn't know that.
Velma's pretty hot in that too. I'm just saying.
She's usually the silent sleeper, so whatever.
She wasn't that silent.
Man.
So
anyhow,
I just don't get those. Like, okay, nothing against porn. Porn's great, right? Not good for men, but in theory. But who goes on a porn and goes, you know what? I really want a porn that is like based off of why you're there. You're supposed to be watching it to fucking touch your penis, right? Why the hell do you need a fucking goddamn parody to do that? I never got porn parodies.
Well,
so 2 hours and 26 minutes to 2 hours and 27 minutes. Devil says, I know porn and flip that.
Yeah. Well, if you guys think that's bad, there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles porn parody with an actress whose name is actually April O'Neil playing April O'Neil, and she does a scene where a bukkake scene with all four turtles who have these dildos in place of penises because obviously turtles don't have penises.
Oh God, that's so gross.
Yeah,
I mean technically they'd have to because their
jizz was green.
That's not the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Who goes on a porn site and goes, you know what? I really want to see that. Not fucking, this hot chick. No, I want to see fake turtle dicks, Visamine green shit on a fucking.
Yeah.
God, man.
And it's like,
this is why I'm winning. This is why I am winning. Y'all going to hell for shit like that. I'm just saying.
And I'm bringing it with me.
Yes.
All right, that's probably a good place to end this because otherwise I'm just going to say something worse. So let's go around the horn and tell people where they can find you, Devil.
I am Devil. Made me do it. Nalik3 on the Twitters. Check out Beelzebub We got the show, The Pub, every Friday night, Saturday morning, right there in the middle. And then check out Get Ranked every Sunday. This Sunday we're doing 80s cartoons, the girls list. Then on Wednesday, every Wednesday, Wrong Think on we kind of do a political but more comical show of it, and it's been going really good. So check all three of those out if you can.
Nice. Beard of Liberty, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter, X, Twix, whatever the hell you want to call it, at Beard of Liberty. I don't have my own YouTube channel, but I'm a co-host on After the Weekend. And in, I don't know, about an hour and a half here, we've got our every other Saturday show for kind of talking some pop culture things. I'm going to rant on the Borderlands movie trailer that came out this week because I have things to say. And then on Mondays, we do our normal kind of movie review show from things from our childhood, 80s, 90s. And February was the Totally Not Gay, just a bunch of dudes watching rom-coms month. So we've got Can't Hardly Wait, I think is for Monday.
Who's in Can't Hardly Wait? Was that Freddie Prinze Jr.? Is he in that?
Yeah, I think so.
Think so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I get shit for Titanic. At least mine made $2 billion.
Yeah.
I will take $2 billion Titanic over that any day.
But there's something else, but I can't really think of it at the moment. So, if people follow me on Twitter, that's where things get announced when I know stuff. So,
all right. So,
and thanks for inviting me here. This was fun.
Absolutely.
Didn't expect it.
Anytime. Yeah, anytime, man. You've been great. We do get into some fairly, political, sometimes even relevant discussions. So yeah, it's a good time. Sometimes we try to be funny too. That's a hit or miss thing, though. Speaking of, hey, Lawrence, what do you got coming up?
Well, you guys can catch me tonight on the world famous Exile Lioness 2 channel. And you can catch me right here next Friday on Abyss of Musings. And I also have a new short story that will be coming out in a couple of days called Locomotive. And currently I have 2 short stories on my Knights Lore channel, which I'm sure is in the description below.
It is, yes. But speaking of which, I will be adding Beard your Twitter and YouTube information to the description as well. As soon as I get a chance, and definitely if I remember to. But I'll definitely try.
That's all we can ask.
Yeah, I think there's a few videos in the past where we've had people jump on, and I have forgotten to add their information, even though I'd said that I would, and it's like weeks later, and I'm like, "Fuck! Well, do I do it now or not?"
You do it.
Anyway, Ryan, what do you got coming up?
Oh, speaking of doing it, tomorrow's Hunting Hitler is mostly on hiatus until next week because 2 of our panelists, unfortunately, might have the coof. They're not feeling well, so so we decided to maybe postpone that. Anyway, after that, I will be on Adam the Red Shirts, because he's always a red shirt and he still sucks. No, Adam the Renaissance Nerds roundtable filling in because I fill in wherever I can. I see a hole, I fill it. That's right, Beard. That's right, Beard. I saw you flinch. No, and then after that, of course. So roundtable is it 2 p.m. Eastern? And then, of course, Star Trek Engage is at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with many of these yahoos. Beard's been on. He's most likely going to be back at some time. We will have that damn fucking dirty Swifty Kenzo on as Wesley. And he needs to be berated into the ground and back.
He's done some pretty hideous things with memes in recent weeks.
Yes, he has.
Yeah. It's been kind of glorious, actually, now that I think about it. That brings it around to me. If you were here watching, you know where to find me on the channel, Samuel the Infamous, named after my glorious self. where we do live streams throughout the weekend. Abyss Musings last night, Screaming to the Void on Sundays or on Saturdays. Christ, I can't get my days straight. And Star Trek Engage on Sundays, which would be tomorrow. You can also find me on Beelzebub on Beelzebub Hub at 1 o'clock in the morning, my time, on Saturdays. And Mellow Mondays on the Renaissance Nerds channel and on Dermy's channel for Mayhem on Tuesdays, work permitting. Otherwise, you can find myself with Lawrence Knight over on Exiled Liners 2, moderating and running some stuff behind the scenes and occasionally on the panel. Yeah, other stuff comes up here, there, and everywhere. I was on Clifton's channel last week, kind of impromptu. Had to go defend my position on Final Fantasy VI, being a bunch of crap and all of that. So, but yeah, you know where to find us. Go check us out in the various places all around the internet. Thank you all for joining us. Appreciate all of you guys on YouTube, on Twix, on Rumble, everywhere, wherever you may be watching, lurking, commenting, all that good stuff. Remember, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras. Night, everybody.
Save your breath. Full screen.
Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath